Welcome back to Pixels and Pints. Joining me tonight, as always, is Tom.
Fuck me.
What an intro. And standing in for Dan, we have our special host, Ed.
Guest host.
Hello.
Guest host. Special guest host. There we go. Words. I think I still know some.
Oh, fuck. Fruity.
Me fail English.
Fruity.
Okay. Oh, the beer.
The beer.
I thought you were commenting on my intro. I was like, dude, it's 2022. That's all good.
Needs more fruit.
Yeah, so tonight, as always, we will be covering all our favourite pop culture, TV shows, movies, books, music, comic books, like whatever the fuck, basically, video
Pops
games.
into our little heads.
Yeah, it's a pretty broad definition for pop culture. And yet, when I describe to people that we run a podcast about beer and pop culture, they say, what's pop culture mean? Because it means 10 different things to 10 different people.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's our little brand. Should we kick off with beers?
Yes.
Ed cracked his
Sounds
beer. In fairness to Ed, he'd cracked his beer like half an hour ago, and just as he cracked it, Tom sent us a message saying, I forgot my charger, I need to go get it. So his poor beer's been sitting there.
So I stuck it in the fridge for a couple of minutes. I'm like, oh, what do I do? So I've been looking at it. It's been talking to me. I've been doing my best not to.
You could have drunk half of it. I wouldn't have stopped you.
I would have been on my second by the time you turned up. So I thought
Yeah.
and then I would have got to like the 2 hour mark.
Wizard is never late, Edward Moody. Right, precisely when he means to.
I should note the reason why Dan's off this episode and maybe next episode is he's just been smashed with the relaunch or the rebrand of his beer. So I went out to the Australian Brewery in Rouse Hill earlier today to help him celebrate the launch of Esker Beer Co. And as part of the brand launch, he has also brewed his team and he has brewed some pretty fucking amazing beers. So they've got a tasty as hell pale ale. There's a West Coast IPA that's nice and dank and resiny. And then they've got it's a goza with Himalayan rock salt and a bit of mandarin juice. I think there's another citrus fruit in it, but it was the guy who was pouring me a sample was very excitedly running me through the flavor profile and the ingredients that went into it. So it's cool to meet the team behind the beer as well, and
It's also good to just hear that they're excited about it. Like, there's nothing worse than going to like a beer launch and the guy's like, "Hey, it's that fucking thing I just slave over for like 6 weeks."
Yeah,
drink it.
It's a fucking lager I made.
Bastard. Yeah,
it's gonna be $12 a pint. So go and check it out. It should be in shelves soon, actually, at your local. So Esker Beer Co. Anyway, that's a quick free plug for Dan. He'll get the shits
because he wouldn't do it.
No, and he'll probably have the shits with me for doing it, but that's all good. Ed, do you want to take us away with beer review?
Yeah, so I'm doing one of the core ranges of Running with Thieves. I did their biscuit ale last time, which was pretty tasty. So this is their XPA, which is the extra pale ale. So they say bursting with pineapple, nectarine, mango, and citrus notes. Our extra pale ale tops the charts in drinkability. Brewed with all Australian malts and sophisticated hopping, this XPA is number one with the solid gold dancers. So the hops are Magnum, Big Secret, Vanilla, and the malts are Pale, Carapils, and Vienna. And it's probably it definitely is my go-to their core range. Very citrus, quite piney, and it's it's 4.6%, and the IBU is 30.
Nice and sessionable.
Yeah, so it is. It's easy, and it's definitely nice in the sun as well. You can get through a few, which is super super tasty. Which is good. Yeah, it's definitely because I think they do like a hazy pale is another one of their core, which is also quite nice as well. So, they've been really consistent with their XPA. I haven't had one for a while, but it's still piney and citrusy like I remember. So they've kept their recipe and they've just kept it going, which is good because they're only, as I said last time, they're only fairly new. They'd only be maybe 2-3 years old at the most type of thing. So yeah,
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a few of the Running with Thieves beers that have made it over this way, and they're all consistently good. It's just enjoyable beer, which is nice.
Yeah, which is good. You can kind of always very reliable. And I was glad when I cracked that this afternoon. It was still exactly what I was expecting, which is nice. So yeah, I give it a good 4.5 out of 5. It's probably one of my favorite as well, and it's a stable mate for what I go to as well when I kind of get to the bottle shop and I don't know what I want. It's I see a 4-pack of those and I take
Get into it. Yeah, nice.
Delicious.
Tom, how's your glitter bomb?
Oh yes, my little glitter bomb. I think you can see it at the bottom there.
You can. All that glitter.
There we go.
Oh, I'm gonna poop weird tomorrow.
Unicorn poops all day.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there doing my best like Aladdin impression, a diamond in the rough, and no one else will get it. What am I wasn't drinking?
A visual thinker.
Yeah, you're all welcome for that one. I am having in case glitter beer didn't give it away, I'm having a 1-drop beer. The can is upside down. I'm not going to turn it upside down now because I've cracked it and I have a laptop in front of me and I've learnt my lesson. Don't pour things upside down near laptops. It is the Pink Galaxy. It is one of the 4 monster beers they did for Gabs. It's 6.9%. It is an Imperial Sour with strawberry Starburst, which as soon as you crack this beer, the room just smells like strawberry, like lollies, but nice. The Starburst kind, not like strawberry and cream. It is just right there, like it's filled the room. It's great. They had some red plum, marshmallow, dragon fruit, milk sugar, and
as opposed to just saying lactose like everyone else,
and edible glitter, which you have seen forming a dense rock at the bottom of the glass there. I can't wait to hit that at the end of this glass. I will say for my second beer,
chewy.
Yeah, for my second beer, I have grabbed a separate glass because I don't think I'm actually going to throw this glass out when I'm done with it because the glitter will never go away.
After the middle of the can, it is glitter.
I'm just going to just lob it over the back fence wherever it lands. Good luck to it. But it's a smoothie sour. It has a nice creaminess from that lactose coming through. Oh, there's glitter on the top too. It's very exciting. It's predominantly all that strawberry flavor. It's candy-ish, but you can tell that there's actual fruit in there. It's not just like someone sat there with a bunch of strawberry Starburst over a small fire, just melting it down. And it does pour a beautiful color. It's a nice, vibrant mix of reds in there. With the glitter. Look at it.
The butt stallion from Tiny Tina's would be proud.
I'm sure it would. It's I did say 6.9%. So starting strong, but hey, it's been one hell of a day. So
out of 5
for the style of beer, it's a solid like 4.25.
Okay.
In terms of ridiculousness, it's a 5. In terms of beers you'd go back for a second of, it's a 0. It's a 1 and done.
Right.
Yeah.
Novelty.
Okay. Yeah, it is pure novelty. It's fantastic and well done to the guys for being that creative to think of this. But it is, again, going down that line of, is it beer? Is it beer or is it a prank that you play on a mate going, oh, I've got something for you.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I got you a glitter beer. Yeah.
So
like riding a scooter.
It sounds like one of those beers when you're out with mates and they go, oh, surprise me. You know,
the dealer's choice round.
Here's your surprise.
Fools.
Yeah.
Absolute fools. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Peter, what are you having?
I'm drinking an Urbanaut, which I say with some level of surprise because usually we just get those little dual mini can mixes, but this is a proper beer. This is
a regular beer from Urbanaut.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So Urbanaut's a New Zealand brewing company. We've done quite a few of their dual. So they usually come with a dual chambered can. So they're 375 mils something.
No, they're smaller than that.
They're like 250 mil.
250 mil. Yeah.
I think they're 250 mil cans, and they've got this wrapper that sits in between. So you get typically you get an IPA and a sour, and you're supposed to taste the two flavors separately and then mix them together in the in your glass, and they make a third beer. But no, this is called Harajuku. It's a West Coast IPA. It's 6% on the money, I think. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it's a fucking good West Coast. So the guy at Beer Cartel said to me, because I got a little bit over the Urbanaut beers, to be honest, those blenders, the beer blenders. I found that one of the two beers was usually good and the other was pretty meh. And then when you mix them together, you're just like, oh, well, I wish I got more of the good beer and none of the meh one.
Yep.
And he's like, no, but their their solo series, their normal beers are fucking great. And I got to say, he was right. It's nice and dank, like high bitterness. I don't know what the IBUs are, but it's nice and bitter, which is what you'd expect out of a West Coast. Lots of resiny pine notes from the hops. You'd be concerned if a West Coast wasn't hop forward, and just a touch of dankness. I'd prefer it to be a little bit more dank, but can't have everything in life.
I mean, that could also, I'm assuming it's brewed in New Zealand, so how fresh
might have travelled. Yeah. I'm not actually sure if it's got some packaging details on it. Best before 28th of February 23. That's got to be pretty recent in that case.
Oh, yeah.
6 months, maybe?
6 to 8 months old, yeah. They usually put a year on them.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to give that a 4. Let me give it a 4 out of 5. Is that Jasper?
No, we've got remember Murphy, who appeared on the podcast?
Oh, I do remember.
Yeah, Murphy's back. He's probably going to burst through that door any minute. I gave him some calming treats that we get from the local pet store. Obviously, they haven't kicked
lots
in.
of hemp. Lots of cannabinoids in them.
I gave him double what I gave Jasper, just to hope they would just knock him out. Jasper's so laid back and calm. He's just like, yeah, cool, whatever. You go do your little thing, talk in the room, yell at the guys. That's fine. Murph's just like, what? I want to do it. I want to yell too. Let me in.
He was fighting you for your
he bit my face.
Dressing gown.
Yeah, he bit my face last time. Yeah, that's what he does.
Cool. Should we kick off with some news?
Let's do it.
We interrupt this broadcast with some breaking news from the front.
Feel free to jump in at any point, Ed, and just railroad straight over the top and read out some news or pass comment. You're not a guest anymore; you're a guest host. There's a difference.
Yeah, guest host.
Yeah, you got the official Word doc run sheet now, so you got access to that. That's
honor and privilege.
Yeah. I don't know who put the first bit in, so whoever's reading that.
Yeah, that was me. So Google Stadia finally they announced that it's dying. That it's and its funeral's I think January next year, early next year. So after 4 years of this is going to die, it's finally died.
And approximately 10 minutes before that of it's live, everybody's excited. You should buy it.
Yeah.
How long was it actually a thing for?
Not long. It didn't it was all kind of a great idea, but it should have stayed an idea. That's
for those playing at home. We should say that it's the cloud-based gaming service, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a game streaming.
Yeah. So it was kind of. Yeah, I think it's
on the way of the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I think as soon as people realised what it actually was, it was like, yeah, this isn't going to work, and just.
Well, especially in Australia, where our internet is, the government rolled some string into my apartment and said, have fun.
They didn't even give you the can. You had to get your own can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get 1 megabit a second for 10 times what Telstra used to charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. There has been some noise, though, about what game titles are going to disappear forever when Stadia shuts down, because there are some Stadia specific, exclusive titles, is my understanding.
I think there was only a handful, and they're probably not even worth mentioning.
Okay.
Do apologise if there are any Google Stadia fans, but I'm obviously not one of them.
Judgment has been passed.
There's not enough of you, and it clearly shows. So
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Cool.
Yeah.
The next piece of news is interesting because it plays into a discussion we were having not too long ago about the Obi-Wan series as to whether James Earl Jones.
Yeah, this is where it's come from.
Voiced.
Yeah. So James Earl Jones has officially begun to retire as the voice of Darth Vader. this has started in a process where he signed off on Disney and Lucasfilm using AI to recreate the voice of Vader that he obviously first did. The reason that they know they're going to use AI to do it is because of the way they did Obi-Wan. There was the company that they were using based in Ukraine, and they were helping to.
Is it now part of Russia?
Depends which
Sorry,
part.
I was just reading that news just before.
Peter.
That's fucking so bad.
Touch those things.
We invaded your country. We set up.
Turn back to the left a little bit and leave that road that way. All right.
Reel them back in.
No.
Reel them in, boys. Wind them up.
Carry on.
Wind them up. So they were the ones who were doing the digital altering. That was, they were the guys who were creating the soundscape of, Hayden Christensen's voice mixing with James Earl Jones to create that kind of dual voice. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually had a discussion with someone the other day and we're talking about AI and everything like that. And there's actually, I can't remember the name of it, but there's like an audio mixing program that you can go off and you can master a song, a bit of audio, and then you plug it into this software and go, here's my audio track. By the way, I want it to sound like this. And the AI will sit there and do all the final kind of leveling, and it'll pop out, and you'll get a track that'll sound similar to the source material. And apparently, it's on its. I think the software is up to its 10th edition, and that's been part of it since the 8th. So they're on the third reiteration. But apparently, the guy that I was speaking was he was a sound engineer, and he said it works.
Yeah, have you seen the AI painting algorithms that are available online?
Yeah, because that was another thing we talked about. But yeah, he said the music that you can actually make it sound like is pretty crazy, and it just tops it off just how the AI works.
People don't realize how much artificial intelligence has permeated technology because it's mostly behind the scenes. But if you look at something like Shazam, which was revolutionary when it first came out as an app for iPhone, it was basically using speech recognition to compare it to a list of lyrics in a database to figure out what the song was. And it could not identify classical music pieces, anything where there wasn't lyrics. It couldn't do anything with. These days, you press the Shazam button and in a heartbeat, it has to hear 2 fucking notes and no dialogue, and it knows what it's listening to, and that's all AI. That painting algorithm is crazy. You can say, I want a painting of an elephant holding a cat upside down in a fucking beer glass, and it will paint that for you. It's pretty crazy where we've gotten to, and it's only in the last 5 years.
Have you seen those programs where you can stick in and be like, I want Batman in the theme of being a Jedi. And
No.
it kind of it meshes. I'll see if I can find it and send it through to you guys. But it'll do I saw one. I can see if I can find it again where it's Batman if he was a Jedi or part of the Star Wars franchise, and he's kind of he's kitted out with lightsabers, and it just meshes. So it pretty much gets 2 images.
I've seen those ones where they look kind of they're super weird looking. They're not you wouldn't consider it. Well, I mean, it'd be more surrealist art than your traditional painting.
Some of them pretty bad because people just think of completely obscure stuff to put in. But some of them
Rule 34.
Exactly. But some of the stuff is pretty some of the superhero stuff is pretty cool.
And these algorithms are getting smarter and better over very impressive short amounts of time. But look, I was pretty sure that, and I think I stated on the discussion for Obi-Wan, I was pretty sure they were already using the software for James Earl Jones's voice, whether or not he participated or not. But I doubt that he read lines, and I still haven't seen anything that confirms whether or not he read lines for Obi-Wan.
Well, this is, so the Ukraine-based company was called Respeecher.
Yes.
So he signed over his archival recordings to them.
Yeah, okay. So he's giving them license essentially to use his intellectual property, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's sad. I mean, he's 91, so like he's even if they wanted to do the next thing, bring Vader into anything, it's like he's running out of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And it's easier that he's and it's good of him, and it's easier that he's signing over now.
Yeah.
Than if they were trying to buy the rights after he passed away.
Yes.
Because then it's his estate, and then it's messy, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. That's a little downer. Let's keep going down. We're going into depression zone. I'm pretty devastated about this. Rogue Squadron movie has been dropped from the Star Wars release slate. Its release slate's just been taken off. It's no longer part of it. Which, like, the Rogue Squadron books in the Star Wars Expanded Universe were like some of my favorites.
Fuck yeah.
They were so good. They were so well written, and I was really excited for them to like bring some of that onto the screen. And you watch so many of those like really cool little shorts on YouTube, like that people do where they're doing 3D like cartoon, or like there's the anime TIE Fighter, X-Wing TIE Fighter. It's like 15 minutes long, which is fantastic. There's the more recent one where I'm pretty sure they use the stuff from Squadrons and Battlefront 2 to create, and it's the rebellion taking over Coruscant just after the destruction of the Death Star. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll send the link through. But it's like stuff like that. It's like, yeah, that's exciting. It's dogfighting. It's like kind of that's what the whole X-Wing squadrons were all based on. It was like World War II dogfights. Like it's why Top Gun was so successful and Maverick's been so good. But they've I don't know why it's just disappeared. Like it doesn't.
It was. Well, it was slated originally, and so when it was announced in late 2020, it was supposed to be released just before Christmas next year, 2023. They haven't even started principal photography, and they haven't moved that date.
It's just been
So I mean, it's disappointing because Patty Jenkins was directing it, and she's done a phenomenal job of directing her episodes in Mando. I'm sure she was in She directed Mando. I'm thinking of Dallas. Sorry. Yes.
She did Wonder Woman.
She did Wonder Woman. You're right. I was thinking of Dallas. From
Dallas Howard.
Yes. From why is her middle name the one that stuck in my head? Explain that. Fucking hell. The female lead from Jurassic World. But yes. Anyway, that is fucking disappointing because it would have been cool to see a movie about the Squadron from the original A New Hope movie. Yeah. Like the main guys.
And then, like, if you think about it, like, they would have had imagine some of those shots, like the ones they did at the end of Rogue One, where it's just over the droid's shoulder, like above the cockpit. Yeah. That's one of my favorite shots in recent Star Wars. Like, it's just that view. It's like, that is a sick camera point to put in. So, like, I'm sure we would have got heaps of that stuff in there. So, look, hopefully it's just been put on the back burner and it'll come back eventually. But, I'm still waiting for Star Wars 1313, and I'll keep waiting.
Yeah.
There's lots of hopes going around in the movie industry at the moment. I read an article that we didn't put in the news about they're still looking for a showrunner to build a 10-year movie plan for DC Universe Online, DC Universe. Because Discovery bought Warner Brothers, right? So it's changed hands.
Yeah, and they're like, the new Discovery guy. He wants.
So the CEO of Discovery is like, I know we need to fix this fucking DC Universe.
Oh, bro, let him die.
And he's looking for a Kevin Feige, and he's been looking now for like a year, and he still can't find one.
Yeah.
Who would be game enough to touch that though? It's kind of.
But we've talked about on the podcast.
You'd have to get one of the guys from the DC like core writers to step back from writing comic books. Like one of their core writers they have.
There's got to be a crossover guy, right? Who does he doesn't actually write comics anymore. He writes the big arcs and, gets all the little writer guys to fucking fit into this pre-plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the kind of proof of concept kind of guy.
Get Russell T Davies to do it.
Call him up.
He's come, I think it's Russell T Davies. He's gone back to do to do Doctor Who now, and it was the second guy. I can't. Anyway, get one of those guys. They know how to write. I know they know how to write a fucking big arc with subtle cues throughout a series. That's what you need in these movies. It needs lots of kind of setup and premonitions, and then a payoff. But now they're talking about whether or not you're going to see Black Adam. Black Adam setting up the Justice
Society of America.
Society.
Are they predate to Justice League kind of thing?
Oh, no, they coexist as well. So there's question marks about whether or not we'll ever see any Justice League characters lined up with Black Adam. And it's like, but who are you going to get? I mean, Batman's out. Henry Cavill.
He just wants him to fight Superman. That's all the Rock
Henry
keeps going on
Cavill's
about.
not coming back.
No, I know, but like that's all the Rock keeps going on about. He's just like, nah,
It's
Black
just
Adam.
ego.
Yeah, I know, but he's like, Black Adam just needs to fight Superman. It's like, does he? Does he really?
Does he really?
Do you really want to see that?
Yeah.
You'll be cancelled before that happens, buddy. Sorry, Dwayne.
I got to say though, like, I think the only thing I'm excited for about that Black Adam movie is Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, because he looks cool. He looks cool.
He does.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him and like Pierce Brosnan, obviously know him mainly from Bond films, just to see him have a bit of fun with like a bit more campy role like that. I think that'd be
Yeah, that'd be good to see him in something different. What he's more iconic about.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Dwayne Johnson meme for how similar his movies are going around lately?
Isn't it the one where he's always wearing the same shirt no matter what it's in? Yeah. I'm expecting
Same outfit.
if that jungle shirt doesn't show up in Black Adam, I'm walking out.
It's always
I guess I'd have
it's
to wait
always like
until the end of the film to see if it does show up. So damn it.
It's always a buff coloured shirt, like a tan, safari shirt with
It's
sweat
a safari
stains everywhere.
shirt. Yeah, wears it in Jumanji. He wore it in Jungle Cruise. What else has he done? He's done it all. The Mummy. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a
Anyway.
T-shirt version. Yeah, sorry, we're way off topic.
We are way off topic. Let's go to Tom's favourite bit of news.
Let's go.
New PS Plus Essential games. Yeah. Hot Wheels Unleashed looks fun as all fuck. I'm going to play the shit out of that. Racing around, arcadey racing with like customizable Hot Wheels cars. Sign me up. I was going to buy it and then I was like, no, I'll wait. I've got a big backlog. And then I saw it was being announced to this. I was like, hot diggity damn. We're on. We're on, ladies and gentlemen. So that looks fun. Speaking of DC, we also have Injustice 2. So DC Mortal Kombat. For when you want to see why Superman can't just punch his way through Batman's chest. They will...
The first one was good. I don't think I've played the second one.
Neither have I.
Never been a beat-em-up kind of guy other than the old coin-up Street Fighter 2.
But yeah, that's it's meant to have a really, like, the story for the actual like single player thing is meant to be quite good. But they have started making that into, pretty sure that's one of the newer DC animated films is the first Injustice.
Well, the graphic
which is on
novel
Netflix.
the graphic novel for Injustice was fucking brilliant, as was the follow-up series, which was to tell the same story from Harley Quinn's perspective.
Yeah, right.
And how different the Injustice story was as it unfolded through her existence. We've talked about that on the podcast back when I think it was Bounty Hunter Banter, a long time ago. That was excellent.
And then the third game, Super Hot, which is a first-person shooter where time only moves when you move. There are no health pickups. There are no like strategically placed ammo. It's like a strategy first-person shooter. So you turn to face some guy, they can move towards you. It's like you then have to go, and it's all done in like polygonal art.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds cool.
It's a cool concept, really cool concept, and it got great reviews when it first came out. So that's something to check out. But they are, if you've just got your PS Essential, that is the next 3 games, which will be released on the 4th of October. They drop.
Speaking of Hot Wheels Unleashed and that type of game, I did see this afternoon that on sale for I think $15 or $20 on the PlayStation Store is a Blizzard pack, which is the Lost Vikings 2, another game, and Rock and Roll Racing. You're ever a Super Nintendo and being a Super Nintendo kid, there was a lot of time playing Rock and Roll Racing. And I'm almost tempted to drop $15 just to play it, but
You may as well.
So
You may as well.
may as well treat myself.
Treat yourself, yeah. I'll tell you what, Just on the topic of PS Plus, I got pinged yesterday. I'd bragged on the podcast, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, because our recording schedule remains fucked. So our most recent episode a month ago, I said that the top tier of PS Plus only cost me like $12 because it was so close to renewal.
I know it's happened to you.
Yeah, and I forgot. And it renewed yesterday, and I'm like, $160 just came out of my account. What the fuck?
What the fuck's this for?
Yeah, I didn't buy anything from Sony. What am I being hacked? I'm not an Optus customer. But no, it was just the renewal. So yeah. So now I'm just going to have to figure out a way to make it pay for itself. I downloaded Stray, which we'll talk about later. That's my first attempt.
They just put on Deathloop as well. That looks really cool. So that's definitely going to be worth the price of admission.
I was kind of hoping that Last of Us Part 1, the remastered PlayStation 5 edition, which would be like the 11th version of that game, would be available, but I don't think it was yet.
Not yet.
It might be later.
Because
that's recently been released for sale, right?
Yeah, I think it came out a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, and
yeah.
I think I've got the remastered, the PS4 remastered, but I've got
the PS3, the PS4 remastered, which I lent to Dan. I've still never played them.
Yeah, and I'm almost tempted. I've never played it either.
I've played the first.
What's wrong with you people? Why am I here?
I've played the first half of it on PlayStation 3. Then I upgraded and bought the remastered edition. It was sitting in plastic for ages, and then I lent it to Dan, and that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to play it because it was a great game, and the opening sequence, which anybody will tell you, if you don't cry through, you're a heartless bastard, was some of the best storytelling in a video game I've ever seen. So, anyway.
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
And we get to talk about it again later in this episode, which I'm pretty excited about as well.
We do.
Yeah.
Fun TV stuff coming our way. Witcher Blood Origins has a release date. It's Christmas Day, everybody. I was building up tension. Yeah. You can't just give these things away. You got to like sprinkle in and there you go. There's the full thing. So yes, that's the prequel set. However many thousands of years before the time of Geralt. With the kind of ragtag group it looks like it's forming. Michelle Yeoh's one of the headliners for that.
She's brilliant, that actress.
She is. So yeah, so that'll be gracing our Netflix accounts on Christmas Day. An extra present for everyone. Thanks to the fine
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Netflix.
Yeah.
Are they? I kind of wish they'd just focused on getting season 3 of The Witcher out as a priority, because it's been so Witcher season 2 ended 17th of December last year.
Yeah.
It's like you only get a year off between seasons, guys. Hurry the fuck up and bring us season 3. Like, yeah, what happened? I know COVID changed shit.
We don't want them to rush it.
No, we don't want them to rush it. But if it takes longer than 12 months to make a TV series, you're doing it wrong. Because, for all of time, mankind has expected season-based TV series shows all of time. That's right.
Okay.
All of time for which there have been in TVs and TV series. Seasons come out annually. It's only since COVID lockdown fucked everything up. They're like, oh, we didn't do a season this year because everyone was sick. And they came back and now they're like, man, we'll do a season once every 18 months. No, we're going to release one season every 17.4 months.
We'll get around to it.
Yeah, I think everyone's seeing how long they can blame COVID for until they're like, oh, hang on, we've actually got to start actually making some TV shows
longer
again.
Because fucking Paratitties has said that no more isolation, just get out there, whatever. So,
get back to work, you slackers.
Yeah, exactly. So no, they can't use that excuse.
Paratit.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wow. If that had come out of my mouth, I would have expected it from Tom's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our favorite nickname for him.
That's a good one for him, actually.
Yeah, you can use that, Pete. Also on Witcher news, moving right along from the Paratitties, is Season 3. Coming will be mid-2023. It says summer, which is obviously...
So 18 months between seasons, you slack bastards.
You bastards. It's all Henry Cavill's fault. He was just getting buffer and buffer.
Yeah.
How dare
Have you seen some of the blood flow restricted workouts that Thor was doing for?
Fuck is that?
Yeah, that does not sound healthy.
It's not so much that it's not healthy.
Is that essentially just putting a cock ring on your muscles?
Yes, it's exactly what it's. So and it was Chris Hemsworth, yeah, training for Thor, right? But so they put like a tourniquet on the top of his bicep, and then he does fucking bicep curls. And because there's
that
no
does
blood
not
flow,
sound safe at all.
it's a scientifically studied exercise technique that allows them to get extra muscle tissue growth as a response. So
and
Jesus
muscle
Christ,
death as well.
Well, I mean that's what you're doing when you're building muscle tissue, right? You're tearing it and essentially rebuilding it as a response. But yeah, like it looked horrifically painful, and you could just see from Chris's face how bad it was. Sorry, you just reminded me when you were talking about fucking Geralt getting buff, and it leads us very neatly into the next point for a guy who said that he was so tired of living a life getting constantly buff for these movies. Yeah, right.
Sneaky, snoy, snoy.
Take us
Wolverine's
away, Tom.
back, baby. The old knucklehead.
That was
Funnily enough, Canadian guy got him back on, which is, I think it's a great little turn of events. Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine, everyone. If you hadn't heard already, fucking excited.
Ryan Reynolds announced it in his typical style for a Deadpool.
It was such a Ryan Reynolds announcement. Just like,
Have you seen the follow up when they go?
Yeah,
to
the second one. Yeah.
Was that when they were? So I read something about a deaf person had deciphered the lip reading in the second follow-up and had posted it online. I haven't read I haven't read it yet, but yeah.
Yes, so Ryan Reynolds went onto his Twitter or Instagram, whichever one he first announced it on, to put up a video saying that they missed D23, which we'll talk about later, and he was like, "We're very sorry to announce Deadpool," and he's like, "But I've got no ideas." And then you just see Hugh Jackman walk through the background shot, and he goes, "Hey Hugh, you want to be Wolverine again?" He goes, "Sure, Ryan," because they've got their whole buddy friendship thing, and it's Ryan Reynolds just going, "See, I've got this. Yeah, I know you all wanted it for years, and here you go." And you know what? I guarantee you, Hugh Jackman sat down and he's in his massive mansion. He's got his massive TV and he's watching Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and he's seen fucking Patrick Stewart come out. And he's like, "That record's mine, bitch. I'm getting that back as the longest character in the thing."
Well, the only surviving X-Men character to make the transition to the proper MCU.
Yeah, and he's like, "Nah, I'm doing this. Fuck you, Patrick Stewart." Yeah. So yes, he's coming back. They're not touching Logan. Logan exists in its own parallel universe kind of thing. So the death in Logan still counts. This is what remains to be seen as a different Wolverine, and they get some fucking yellow spandex. That's my only thing. And I think we definitely, in terms of the MCU, we'll get a fucking cool Wolverine outfit.
I did see today a poster for it, and I think it comes out in. I'm not sure whether this is a US date, but they said 6th of the 9th, 2024, and it's like the logo that they showed with the claws for the 3. But it's Wolverine carrying Deadpool. Like Deadpool's like thrown over dead, and it's just like it looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's going to be sick to see the two of them because they're going to have to fight at some point. They're both invincible. It's just going to lead to a Feige version, so a good version of the fight that we got at the end of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I love that reference too.
Yeah, it's a very funny reference.
So it was on his Twitter, it was actually in the text of the Twitter where he announced it. Was I think it was something. It was words to the effect. It was really hard for me to keep my mouth sewn shut on this announcement. Yeah. It's like because that's the last time we saw those two on screen together.
So yes, that's exciting news. The Knucklehead's coming back, and
fuck yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be one last time again. Hugh Jackman doing his best John Farnham by the sounds of things.
I was going to say that.
But you can just tell, you can already tell, even if they haven't even started shooting it, they're already having fun with the idea, like the way they're shooting these things. It's just, it's two mates going, we're fucking ripped to shreds. We're going to do this, and it's going to be like everyone's going to love it. And yeah,
I was going to say, did you see Hugh Jackman's arms in like that second one? Like you can just see the veins just popping out, and he's not even.
He's obviously started working out again.
He's like, that dude is back. That is his back working out for this film, and it's going to be freaking crazy.
Yeah.
But have you seen any of his interviews about his diet and about like having to bulk up, and his wife fucking hates it and he hates it? And it was actually his wife. He made a promise to his wife that he would hang up the claws after the last movie because she was just done with the bullshit. Because it's an existence of like you're eating 5,500, 6,000 calories a day, and it's all boiled chicken, broccoli, rice. Boiled chicken, broccoli, rice. That's it. And food's no longer food; it's fuel for more workouts. It's a totally different mindset.
That was why Hemsworth was for a while there was going on. I'm over Thor. Like I just can't keep getting.
The human body's not designed to sustain that amount of muscle.
No. But hey, maybe Feige's finally developed a super soldier serum so he can get these guys going and bring back the roles. So yeah, they finally got around to doing it.
Well, CGI it. Just give it the 300 fucking 6-pack effect.
Yeah. Paintbrush. We can play tic-tac-toe on his belly.
Yeah, that's it. Continuing with our TV-themed news. We're almost done with the news, and then I think we should do our second beer. Peacemaker Season 2 has been confirmed, which I'm actually pretty fucking excited about.
That's a fucking good show.
And that announcement was kind of buried in the announcement that Season 1 was coming up for release on Blu-ray and various other disc formats. So you'll be able to buy Season 1 soon. Oh. And they just happened to mention that, oh, by the way, we've confirmed Season 2.
Good on
and Jack Ryan, which I've talked about on the podcast before. I don't think
fucking
you guys
love Jack Ryan.
Yeah? Okay, I didn't know that you'd even seen it.
Yeah. Fucking so good.
I just love anything John Krasinski's in, frankly.
Yeah.
So they've confirmed Season 3 to premiere just before Christmas this year, so we've only got a few more months, which I'm pretty fucking excited about. Have you seen Jack Ryan, Ed?
No, I haven't, but it's on my list
Amazon.
of stuff to get through. Yeah, so it's on. That's one that I've kind of
getting
through the backlog. I made the mistake of watching a little bit of C with Jason Momoa and
fucking love that series, man.
I've got to try it again. I think I kind of half watched it on a Sunday night, like at 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Sunday, and it was weeding me out. About them all being blind and stuff like that. It was kind of like, but mate, I can see it would be one of those things. If I give it another episode, I'd be like, it's pretty cool. It's kind of
So Season 1 hooked me right up until I think I got distracted by something towards the end of the season, and it's only about a month ago I went back and because they were announcing Season 3 is I think the final season. And they're releasing episodes week on week. And I'm like, I better catch up before this happens.
Yeah.
And I demolished Season 2.
Yeah, because I think I started watching it the Sunday before the Rings of Power came out. And that was probably a bad time to try and start it.
Yes.
Very bad time, yeah. Cause it's,
and then you throw Andor on top. And then you throw on House of the Dragon if you're into Game of Thrones. Like, there's a lot on TV at the moment. I recommend Jack Ryan. I was really concerned when they announced they were doing Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan as a TV series that they were going to butcher it because Jack Ryan has been the repeat character in Clear and Present Danger, The Hunt for Red October. He's Tom Clancy's main character as a protagonist through a lot of his books. But I was like, the first season of Jack Ryan was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It wasn't too political. It was set in the Middle East, and it's about terrorists, and yet it wasn't over the top political. It wasn't like a Homeland. It wasn't making a comment on that sort of stuff. It was just a cool spy film set in that kind of background. And then the second season was in the Colombian style jungle, with the equivalent of conflict diamonds without there being conflict diamonds. So
cool. I'd never realized there was a season 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I always thought there was a Season 1 in the Middle East, and I was keen to get on board, but I'm gonna have to kind of motor on.
Yeah,
through.
then they're off to where was it set? Was it like Ecuador or somewhere like that, Tom? It was
Bolivia.
No, Season 2 in the jungles. It wasn't Bolivia.
I don't know. I'll quickly look it up. Season 2.
I'm not sure where season 3's set, but I was worried also about the transition because it was such a stark transition to go from the Middle East to
This is set in Bolivia. Venezuela. Damn it.
Venezuela. You were close. It's on the same big round ball thing that we live on.
It's on the same planet, the same universe. That's a start.
It is set in a country. I was right on that front.
You're dope. Anyway, worth watching.
I'm sorry, you didn't know where it was.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was smart enough not to take a blind stab. And the last piece of news, really quickly, they caught the guy that broke that hacked Rockstar and stole 90 pre-production videos of the GTA 6 game.
Oh, man.
It was a 17-year-old kid in Oxfordshire in the UK, and he hacked them with his fucking phone.
Really?
Yeah, that's how they tracked him. He apparently.
Rockstar.
Yeah, he's the fucking rock star.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't just Rockstar that he hit, apparently. So he's been arrested in connection with hacking Rockstar and Uber. And he's part of a hacker
Fuck
group
you. Venezuela
online.
and Bolivia are both on the same continent, you fuckwit.
I could see that C-bomb on the tip of your tongue there, Tommy.
Yep, and I thank you for noticing that I pulled back, yeah.
You did. You did. It's the only time you should ever. Anyway, so look, I thought that was interesting. Just a fucking script kiddie on his mobile phone.
I did. I will say I really liked the response to the hack in that every developer went, do you want to see the game we made when it was at this stage of development? Here you go. And it was just, they all look like, they're all test phases. Like there's nothing polished about it. Like nothing looks the same as the final product. And it's just like, for all the people like, oh, well, you know, it should be ready by now. It's like, nah, man, calm down.
They haven't even announced the game officially.
I was going to say that it's only ever been rumours about GTA 6. It's always been rumoured.
That's right. Their response to this hack was, despite the illegal the illegal activity of them releasing pre-production videos, we will announce Grand Theft Auto 6 when we're ready with a much more polished trailer. So I thought that was quite. I thought they handled it with quite aplomb. They did a good job of dealing with that. Because it's pretty shitty, man. I mean, someone broke into your house and stole your fucking your pre-concept designs and held it up to say, "Look how shit this guy is." Like that's not fair at all.
No.
So anyway,
yeah, it was. I thought it was a nice little act of camaraderie to see all these other developers go. Like it was, there was Control, there was Legend of Zelda, there was all these people being like, "This is what it looked like at this stage." It's nothing like what you think.
I did the process.
I did love the joke. I think I passed it around to you guys on the WhatsApp group that it was a pre-production that looked so bad it almost looked like a finished Ubisoft game. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Your mates. Your fucking mates.
Yeah. Should we do second beer review, or do you want to move on to... Oh, that's a yes. I better go get my second beer. Well, you guys entertain each other and the audience while I grab a second beer.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
Is that the sound of a chili bin I hear?
It is. I was like, I've got to kind of...
That man is prepared.
I do have to get up and to my fridge for the fourth beer, but there might be a stumble and a hurdle because of my setup. But it'll be some entertainment if you kind of hear me kind of break my nose, come back.
We have a break in the middle, mate. We have a break between 2 and 3, so you'll be right. What are you drinking? Have you poured? You haven't poured yours. I've poured mine. I'll start then. Okay, let's do Tom. Do your thing, Tom. You're someone who knows what they're doing. Debatable. I just saw Pete's note on Andor. That's disturbing. I am drinking a collab. I love a good collab between two breweries. This is Mountain Culture and Deep Creek Desert Lime Hazy IPA. Freaky Dreams. So my standard night. It's for those who don't know where the two breweries are located. Oh, so many night terrors. Jesus Christ. This is Mountain Culture, based in Katoomba, New South Wales, and Deep Creek are from New Zealand. I don't know exactly where in New Zealand, and I should, but I'm an idiot and don't do my research. Anyway, they have created a very typical of both of these breweries, a nice, thick, viscous, hazy IPA. Look at that beautiful colour.
I came right in at the perfect moment.
Yeah, you
Thick
came
and
in.
viscous.
Thick and viscous.
Oh, yeah. Cloudy.
So they have used for this Galaxy to represent Australia and Waimea to represent New Zealand. Pete, so you don't have to catch up when you listen back to it, I'm having a Mountain Culture Deep Creek collaboration.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I did good Deep Creek.
It's Deep Creek makes some fantastic beers.
Yeah,
I always
it
love
sounded like I was making a joke. I wasn't.
It did, and I thought about it. I paused for just half a second, and then I moved on. 6.5%, and it desert lime IPA. That's what I'm smelling. I'm smelling like a really nice citrus aroma has filled the room once I cracked that beer. Got some nice head retention, which is surprising in most hazy IPAs because the dudes tend to
proteins.
disappear. Yeah, especially when it's a fruited IPA as well. You do tend to lose a bit from that fruit, and it is. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. That has obviously Mountain Culture being kind of the kings of the Australian hazy, and especially like those. I don't think it's an oat cream, but it's got that kind of really cool, like almost like spice. It's almost like spice. You got a lot of that citrus, and then there's just like that. It's probably from the way they've probably used oats in it to make that mouthfeel, but it's so smooth. It's like when you got that zing of the pine lime coating, and then the cream from the ice cream would come through. It's that. 6.5%, I could probably drink about 8 of these. I wouldn't know what I was doing after that, but I would have had a great time. This is a fantastic beer from two excellent breweries that I'm big fans of. And it's a solid 4.5 pixels out of 5 pints.
Nice. Nice.
And it's a Trans-Tasman collab, thanks to a few people actually. Carwin Cellars, Beer Jerk, Mountain Culture, and Deep Creek. How good. There we go.
What was it called, sorry? Since you haven't written anything in the notes.
I was getting to it.
Your mongrel.
Freaky Dreams.
Freaky Dreams.
I already made the joke about that's my, nightly part. That's what happens.
Right, you have freaky dreams.
Night terrors. Absolutely.
Night terrors.
Cobras everywhere.
Cobras? Why does it always have to be snakes?
Oh, cobras.
Always the snakes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
that's my beer. So, next.
Nice. Ed?
I am trying a Whitelakes Summer Ale. So the camera's
Flakes or White Lakes?
Whitelakes.
Okay.
So the
White Flakes would be the worst name for a brewery.
yeah.
Please enjoy our dandruff beer.
Yeah. It's got some white glitter in it. No, but
Where are Whitelakes Brewing from?
they're another
heard.
I've gone WA tonight. I thought I'd represent tonight for all WA beers. So this is a suburb called Baldivis. You kind of go to Baldivis, obviously go to Whitelakes or get stabbed. Yeah.
Perfect.
One of those types of suburbs. Anyway. So it says Summer Ale. So this is the first time I'm trying it. I saw it there. I'm like, it's new in stock. I'll give it a shot. 4.6%. And then it's 28 IBU. Question for you guys. What's EBU? Because it's 12 EBU.
No idea.
English bitterness units?
Because it's not bitter. It's actually quite nice. It's actually, nice. 4.6. Definitely a solid summer ale.
It's another version, like it's an alternate to IBU.
Yeah, okay. I thought
apparently.
Was
According to
it
Wikipedia.
English bitterness units?
It's the European bitterness unit.
That was pretty close.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know anything about Whitelakes. They've got on the can. Sometimes you need to venture into the unknown to find something that feels familiar. At Whitelakes, we live to make and make to last. The results, future classics. And inspired by changing seasons, blossoming jacaranda trees, and the afternoon sun setting over Lake Walniup. Our summer ale is made for adventure. But yeah, it's actually quite nice. It's for a summer ale, there's nothing too exciting about it.
Do you want to hear the tasting notes?
Yes, please, because they've got nothing on the can.
A complex synergy of malt and hops, citrus and fruit literally leap out of the glass, supported by a sweet malt backbone, courtesy of malted wheat and Vienna in the grist, which I thought was interesting. The summer pours with the colour of the afternoon sun, brilliant gold with a creamy white head. The ale yeast supports the heady fruit aroma with underlying malt sweetness and estery overtones. The body is dry and refreshing.
Yeah, so it's a bit dry, a bit sweet. It's actually quite nice. Definitely.
Do you get any kind of like banana out of it or anything like that?
A little bit fruity, but nothing kind of really that kind of jumps out. But in saying that, it's definitely something that you could sit and have a couple like early afternoon if you're in for a long day. You could easily start on that and then have it as a kind of palate cleanser. Whereas the XPA before still like leaves that really kind of piney taste on your tongue. While this is actually cleaning the tongue and the mouth quite nicely. So, for the first try, I think I'm onto a winner for that for going back again. Going to give it a 4.
Cool.
I think we'll start with a 4 and then go from there.
Leave yourself some room to go up and down.
Yeah, up and down once I kind of try a few more of them. But yeah, really tasty.
I just looked up that EBC.
EBU?
No, EBC. It's
what did Ed say?
It's the colour of the beer.
I've got EBU.
EBU.
I'm on their website. And
you looked up a different thing.
Yeah, 28 IBU and then 12 EBC.
They've got a mistake somewhere because I've got a U.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, on their website, they say EBC, and I'm looking at the summer ale, and then I will go on they've done the same thing, for the pale ale. So the EBC is the colour of the beer, the colour spectrum for beer.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is quite golden and clean and yeah.
But that's just like that's I don't think I've ever seen the Europe. The Europe. What does it stand for? The European Brewing Convention.
EBC. The colour.
Is the colour
because no one fucking cares.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that on a can.
Fuck?
That's like that's so
I would
nerdy.
rate this a number 5, but unfortunately, it is
That's
3%.
your fucking Cicerone, mates. That's what that is.
They get around with like a paint chart from Bunnings.
But they need a little pool test tube thing first. With the little litmus test and the colour panels. Fucking hell. Oh, that was great. All right, so you done with your beer, Ed?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm drinking a second West Coast because I specifically wanted to drink them back to back to compare. So this is Nomad Brewing's West Coast IPA, Empiricist number 2. And whilst the can's not going to be able to focus if I put it up closer, the artwork is spectacular.
Is that part of their art series? Does it say on the back?
Yeah, I'm just checking because
they did that for a range of pale ales, and they had some super fucking cool artwork on their cans.
No,
and Nomad were pairing up with like, masters art students from various universities to like
it does. Yeah. It does state we loved at Inkling Art Empiricist so much we had to give him a series as it gave us an excuse to keep creating more awesome West Coast IPAs. So I don't think it's an art series. I think it's specific to whoever Inkling Art Empiricist is. Yeah. Cool. But like it's one of those Black Plague style plague doctors that you see that captured my imagination in Assassin's Creed 2. That's where I first saw it. And he's a puppet master, and he's pouring chemicals out of a beaker into something. Anyway, that's if I was the sort of guy that peeled labels off cans and put them on my fridge, this would definitely go on my fridge.
Oh, me?
Is it you? Well, I'll send you this one. So it's a 6% West Coast IPA. In a 440ml can, it's pretty fucking dangerous because I tell you, it is goddamn good.
Oh, yeah, that is good artwork. That's cool.
So in comparison to the Urbanaut, this is much danker. Yeah. Much danker. Eureka and Melba hops. Grapefruit and citrus, you definitely get grapefruit out of it. Probably less. Grapefruit is a citrus fruit, but you get that real really bitter pithiness that you would expect out of a grapefruit.
Yeah, because grapefruit's quite a different citrus compared to your kind of standard mandarin orange.
Yeah. This is actually kind of like, you can flutter your palate sometimes with a bit of air. I get like I've just chewed on the rind of a fucking grapefruit or that white bit that you get on the outside of an orange.
Yep.
It's but and then the dankness just cuts through the middle. It's quite bitter, but it's that's a spectacular beer. I'm giving that a 5 for a West Coast, and I'm sorry to Dan who's not here to try it, because we all know how
he's a big
obsessed
boy.
he is
He
with
can
his
go to
West
the
Coast.
shop and buy one for himself.
He's of legal age.
He is.
And he's got that. He's
brewing his own West Coast.
He's brewing his own, and he's also got that. What's the is it Quakers Cellars he always goes to? That's around the corner.
Quakers.
I really like. He talks that bottle shop up a lot. I'm keen to.
I used to, because I used to live around the corner from him, from Quakers Cellars. He's struggling to get stock these days. Like, it's slim pickings by the time Dan gets in there, unfortunately. He used to have a shitload of, like, he had 2 or 3 fridges, like standalone fridges, full of just randoms. And apparently Dan's been struggling to find new stuff, but I don't know if that's because he's not getting stock in or if it's because he's not cycling stock the way someone like Dan or us would want them to. Because the guy's got to run a shop, right? It's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. And whilst he's a craft beer guy, you can't stock all your fridges with crazy out there new taste sensations, because you'd go out of business. People come in, and most punters just want to buy a craft IPA or a craft stout. They don't want to buy a fucking, what was your nipple tassel fucking glitter bomb milkshake. Yeah, sorbet
milkshake
sherbet.
Brought all the boys to this yard.
So yeah, I don't know which it is, but he does talk it up a bit.
No, there's a lot of bottle shops, especially for those who have never really worked in the industry. For those listening at home, for all the cool craft stuff they get in, they have that dirt cheap case that flies out the door that you just
It keeps the lights on, man.
Yeah, you need to do that to run a shop.
It's basic business.
And especially with the rise of online bottle shops now, it's so much harder for brick and mortar bottle shops to get by. Yeah,
but a lot of those online shops are brick and mortar shops.
Yeah,
but they'll see a drop in foot traffic, and you see a pickup in the actual amount of
online orders,
just ordering online, rather than going like. And then that's a lot more work. So it's not just putting the beer on the shelf. Then you got to upload photos of it, put up all the information on it, like do the back end of that stuff. It's just doubles the time you spend running that website. But yeah, it is hard. But yeah.
So when is Bucket Boys closing all their shops and just turning into an online store?
No. You should still always support your local brick and mortar independent bottle shop. I will say that until I die. Dan's is great, and I understand it's you're on a budget. Dan's is great for that. You can get some fucking good beer for a fucking cheap price, but
you can get some. You should
always just go to
beer.
your local dude and go see what old mate's got, and then because you can also talk to old mate and he'll get whatever you want in. So support independent, support local.
Yeah, Dan. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Dan's, because I do buy shit from them. Like, I buy wine and I buy spirits, but their range when it comes to craft beer is not spectacular. But
they've gotten better. They've gotten a lot better.
And at least it's better than Jimmy Brings, which is like,
I've never looked at Jimmy Brings. And
Jimmy Brings is, I'm an alcoholic and I need grog now, and I'm too drunk to go out and get it.
I've used Jimmy Brings, I think, once, and that's when I got in lockdown when I came back from Queensland at the start of the year, and I kind of was on holidays and I needed alcohol, and I was like, Jimmy Brings, there we go, give it a whirl.
I've used him a couple of times when I was in the middle of hosting a party, and I've already had too many drinks and there's people over. And if you just need another bottle of gin and another bottle of scotch, it's perfect.
And a case of beer. So yes,
but their cases are like Great Northern. Here's a case of Great Northern or 4X.
That's what their customer base wants.
Great Northern, the beer from up here that's brewed in Yatala, which is between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So it's
it's beer from up there.
Yeah. It's, every time I see that being an ex-Queenslander, they say it's the beer from up here and promote it as being North Queensland. It's like, it's the other end of the state.
Take this, you fucking pricks.
Yeah.
Isn't it owned by CUB anyway? So
Yeah. It's
So it's probably brewed in Melbourne. So yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Let's move right along. I
move on.
think the next thing we're gonna go, Ed, you're our guest host. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your life. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Talk us through, Ed.
Since when was your 5 year? That was like
That was
February.
the birthday,
start
February stuff.
of the year-ish, yeah.
Start of the year-ish.
That
what
was only
happened
like
is-
3 episodes ago with how our schedule's been running.
It's gone crazy. So at that stage, I was kind of getting back into Ghost of Tsushima, and I was starting a diploma of screen and media.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Creative industry. So I'm into my last trimester, surprisingly enough.
Hey, well done.
Two subjects left, and
Is it a boy or a girl?
it's a boy. We'll
Sorry.
wait and see. We'll wait and see. So, I'm currently for what I'm working on at the moment is like a kind of a proof of concept, 30 to 60 second animated short, which is going to come out last week of mid-December.
Cool.
So that's kind of going to start working on as a side project some short animations, which is pretty exciting. So
What are you using to animate?
I'll be using Blender.
Yeah, cool.
Blender's pretty good for it's first and foremost it's free, and it's actually there's a fair bit to it as well, and it's got a marketplace as well, so you don't have to build all your.
There's been movies that have used Blender. There's been a lot of movies that have used Blender for CGI.
And I've watched a lot of kind of short animations, and it's pretty good. Like I've
It hurt
used,
New Tech enough to almost kill Lightwave, and Maya's Autodesk has been struggling with Maya because Blender is capable enough, and it's free.
Yeah, and it's free because Maya's like $3,000 or like $300 a month. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and Lightwave's the same, by the way. That was three and a half, somewhere in that space.
Yeah,
It was another big industry player.
And you've got like Unreal Engine 5 is free, but I tested on my PC and it sounded like my PC was going to take off, and I've got a 2080 GPU. So they're like, oh, you need like a 2080 like super or like a 30 series GPU or but yeah,
I'm not surprised.
I'm not going to go off and spend.
Well, it's coming down now.
It's coming
now
down.
That Helium has moved to a non-mining crypto backer. All of those video cards, the price of video cards because of crypto miners, that whole market's just disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
Is it Helium? Am I remembering that right?
No, Ethereum.
Ethereum. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did that mean anything to you at all, Tom?
Actually, I was listening to someone the other day talk about how we're running out of helium, and so we should all buy up helium tanks to stockpile.
Okay, that was a no.
Yeah.
Do you want me to explain what we were talking about, or just move on?
I don't want you to touch my stockpile of helium tanks. Is what I do not want you to touch. No, that's all right. I mean, do a quick 5-second breakdown for me, the dumb idiot in the room, and the listeners who probably have no idea what you two are talking about.
Okay, so Ethereum is it's a cryptocurrency and a blockchain product or ecosystem, and it basically uses at-home video cards to create more. It adds more blocks to the end of the blockchain. So you had and the more work your computer did to contribute to creating new blocks for the blockchain, the more money you got paid, and you got paid in Ethereum, which is their cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Cryptocurrency itself, Ethereum's worth about $2,000 per Ethereum unit.
Right.
So if you had a room the size of the room I'm sitting in right now, full of computers with video cards in it, you could make $10,000 a month mining crypto.
Cool.
And that's what was driving the price of video cards up, because everyone was buying video cards specifically to mine, not to play video games. until
Well, that's just boring as fuck.
a month ago.
Yeah.
Until a month ago, when Ethereum changed their methodology of adding blocks to the blockchain, they no longer use any video cards whatsoever. And so you've got warehouses full of computers with 3080 Ti's that are
because that was the one that everyone was trying to get, but no one could get it. Yeah.
Yep. You were talking so when it was released, the 3080 was targeted at a price point of about $1,800 to $2,000 Australian, but the price is more like $3,000 to $3,500. It got as high as $4,500 a card because of the scarcity, because of these fucking miners. They were buying warehouses full, and then so Ethereum switched to a witness model that doesn't need mining anymore, and suddenly all those video cards are flooding the fucking secondhand market.
Oh, those poor little dwarves not being able to mine.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we're all on the same page there. Anyway, sorry.
But anyway,
Ed, back
so
to you.
I thought I'd see if I could actually run UE5 because I'm sure we've all seen what some of the stuff that people have created on it, which is pretty amazing. But that might be down the track when I can warrant myself spending money on an upgrade. But yeah, this time it'll be made in Blender because some of the stuff in Blender comes out and it's pretty cool. So it'll be start off with a 30 to 60 second kind of proof of concept, short animation, and then kind of build a world and kind of little kind of storyline out of that and side project and go from there. So
what's the style of art that you're doing in Blender? Because Blender can create pretty much anything, right?
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I'm only going through just pretty much probably started working on it the past 2 or 3 weeks. So haven't kind of quite got to storyboarding yet, but that'll kind of happen the next.
But will it be like photorealistic? Will it be like Toy Story style, 3-dimensional but not realistic? Will it be animated, cartoony?
It'll
because you can do all of those with Blender.
You can do a lot in Blender. I'll probably go more of your CGI kind of Toy Story, that type of stuff, but
cool.
Kind of sharpen it up a little bit and make it a bit more kind of geared towards an older audience. But anything could happen in the next kind of 12 weeks, 12 weeks. So that's where it's all starting out at. And the goal is to actually make a series of them of minute and then kind of minute animations and then put it together and have some short episodes and see what happens and kind of branch out, try a few different things and
fuck yeah, man. You got to send it to us when you're done. I want to watch this.
For sure. So it'll be going making the traps, but so that's
we'll plug it on here. Don't worry about that, mate.
So that's
if you need someone to do an old timey World War II voiceover, just
don't worry, I'll be putting the calls out like no tomorrow.
So Tom, you've got quite the repertoire of voices there, buddy.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been working on my Kermit voice lately.
Really?
Yeah. Yes,
Sherry?
Peter. I've been putting a bit of effort into the way I can do a little Kermit voice. If you want to hear a little about it.
You actually you caught me off guard with the It voice a couple of episodes ago. I was listening back and fuck, that made me laugh.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good.
It is just one of the funniest films I've seen in the last decade. It really shouldn't make me laugh like it does. I don't know why. It's just really
Pretty
terrifying.
sure that makes you a psychopath, to be honest.
Well,
but we still love you, man.
I'll be going to Pete for his Gollum voice. And what did Dan did one a while back on an episode? I can't remember what voice.
Dan just goes fucking deep.
He surprised everyone with that, but I don't remember what it is either.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. I have to go and find it. Yeah, speak to Dan about that. But we'll see where it goes.
I've actually always wanted to get into voice acting, so this could be the stepping stone.
This could be the big break. With
start of a beautiful thing, a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, that's it. End up walking the red carpet with Hugh and Ryan. Go from there. So that's what I've been working on.
I like that. That's the go from there point. Like we walk the red carpet with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, and then we'll just go from there. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, we'll just start small.
Yeah.
Set the target low. Yeah,
exactly. So that's been keeping taking up most of my time. Getting through all that. Kind of been slack in what I've been playing, but I've for Are You Winning Son. I finally got back into Ghost of Tsushima. And then looking forward to like God of War, and there's some games finally coming up on the PS5. Looking forward to so there's like God of War there. I think that flows.
Because you were streaming for a while, weren't you?
Are you
I was.
No, I after doing it for 4 years, and Twitch is a cesspool of just. Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah,
I've stumbled through Twitch and I've walked out just like
unless you're prepared to get into a tiny bikini and do it from your one of those shell baths in.
Which, funnily enough, if I can wear a Star Wars helmet, I am.
But I assume you've seen that whole subculture where they're girls in scant bikinis in those inflatable pools in the middle of their fucking living room, making money out of that shit.
And they like
it's one step away from OnlyFans.
Yeah, when it was like that meta was going on, the whole thing, all these doctors were coming out like, it's actually not good that they spend for the nether regions for spending 8 to 12 hours in stagnant water. It's not good. yeah.
Look, we've invented a new strain of chlamydia on cam. Awesome.
Oh,
it pretty much, and being owned by Jeffrey Bezos. I mean, the creators that are on the net there now they get a bad deal. It's not attractive at all, and because at one stage there I was kind of. I think I was.
But social media has gone that way across the board, Ed. Like that's not specific. Like sorry to cut you off. I just quickly on that topic, I've got a friend who I went to high school with who she's a handy-abled person. So she was born with one arm, and she has won the international pole dancing championship like 3 or 4 years in a row, right? She is the best pole dancer on earth as voted 3 or 4 times. She does a lot of LGBTQ plus kind of advertisement and work. She does a lot of reach out programs for disabled and handicapped people. She does a lot of positive reinforcement for people to learn dance, even though that they don't particularly or don't necessarily have all of the right or all of the traditional appendages that you would assign to dancing. She just got deplatformed on Facebook because she was promoting a burlesque show, and 30-40% of her income comes from Facebook advertising, and she her account just got banned because she was promoting a burlesque show that happened to have lingerie in the thing. And there's no appeals process. There's no humans involved anymore. It's just a fucking algorithm saw a nipple through a gauze shirt and just went, you're banned for life.
Well, that's like YouTube. I've got into to watching this guy who's a photographer that worked for like Adidas and Nike and Estee Lauder and all the big brands in the US. And he does a YouTube channel where he interviews. He's got a studio on Skid Row, so he interviews pimps, drug addicts, prostitutes, sex workers, the whole lot. And gets them.
Just want to draw a nice dark line between what I was talking about and what you're talking about now.
But this is pretty much like it's he interviews them and they tell him their life stories. So it's regardless of what they are, they're just these people that are kind of the backwaters of society. And YouTube have just gone. It contains sexual references, content. Yeah. It's and all it is him interviewing these people in a warehouse. And it's got and it's just all algorithms and kind of
which is
but
why
you go onto Twitter and you everything.
Yeah, and that's
which is why I don't or Reddit for that matter. But this is why Pixels and Pints YouTube channel, like our video episodes are. I've cut them right back, right? In terms of the amount of content, like the slide-in graphics, the slide-in... Every time we make a reference to some TV show or an actor or a director or trailer trash, I used to put that content on screen. But I just got sick of dealing with the fucking algorithm that would ping us for copyright. And then you'd have some fuckwit in some small Eastern Bloc country no one's ever heard of claim copyright over a Warner Brothers movie trailer because he owns the rights in that country to distribute that trailer. And now I've got to justify to him why it's not a breach of copyright.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got Paramount Pictures or one of the Universal, one of them who just constantly ended up in these arguments. So it's just that whole social media platform has become so politicized now. You can't take 2 steps without walking into a wall.
Yeah, and it's kind of going down the track. I've watched a few things there's a photographer called Peter McKinnon, who's
anyone who's spent 10 minutes on YouTube should know who that is. You should know what
he's pretty much said like anything like Instagram or anything like that. The whole thing was to share photos, and being a photographer, that was his way to actually share his work and everything like that. And yeah, people just like, it's gone so far away from their intended purposes that it's just it's not even worthwhile. Like the whole thing with Twitch was about people like playing video games and that stuff, and now it's women wearing next to nothing in a hot tub for 12 hours, or it's and they've just recently banned but for a while there the next biggest thing was gambling, was like people playing roulette and online casinos and stuff like that. So really? So this thing came out.
Is Amaruth currently banned or not banned? Because she seems to go through phases on Twitch.
She goes through. I don't know whatever happened.
And the amount of women that are literally standing in front of microphones in lingerie, licking the microphone.
Yeah,
for their ASMR fucking channels. It's just. Look, the internet has always brought the worst of society's cesspool to and given them voice and platform, right? It's just it just seems to have taken over lately on social media.
And as I said to someone the other day, the thing is it exists because there's a demand for it. If there wasn't a demand for it, it wouldn't exist. Yeah. So there was this guy that managed to scam $300,000 out of his viewers, and then he got like a 24-hour ban, and then he's back a day later doing it again, and it's like oh, you kind of like
there's a whole thread on Reddit and a few other places about the simp who bought a Twitch streamer a Tesla. And she posted on Instagram saying, "Hey, one of my Twitch followers just bought me this Tesla amazing car," and he's like, just spent $70,000 to be called a Twitch streamer. Like she couldn't even name the guy. Like she didn't have the decency to name the guy to say, "Hey, this guy named blah who follows." No, it's just this is the society that we've created, though, man. It's all
But on that, what does she actually owe the dude?
Nothing,
really?
Nothing at all. But
I'm sure she didn't pressure him. No,
be a decent
I'm sorry.
human
If
being
some
and
dude's
saying,
trying to like buy you a Tesla just to get in your fucking pants, like that guy's a fucking idiot.
Name him and shame him. That's all he wanted, right? He wanted.
Maybe that's his kink. He wants to be named and shamed. Yeah,
and be called daddy at the same time.
Yeah, and run over with the Tesla a little bit, just
Okay, let's move on.
But yeah, anyway, that's like the downfall of society. But anyway, we'll But yeah, it's that kind of
we live in a society.
Yeah, it's that came and went. But yeah, it was because I did it for 4 years. At first, I was going through back.
4 years is a long time to be doing it, man.
Yeah,
like, that's a pretty solid effort.
The first up until probably the end of 2020 was the first year of COVID. It was I was fairly consistent. I was kind of like 4 or 5 days a week for a couple of hours, and it was kind of like 2 hours, and then kind of. Post 2020, the schedule kind of took a hit, and then it kind of because my schedule
like our podcast really.
The like as you guys know, life gets in the way. I was like, well, life's probably a little bit more important, and then viewership kind of took a hit as well because I was getting up between like 10 and 15 people with like concurrent viewers, which is like the top couple of like it might not seem a lot, but it was kind of at that stage.
The amount of people fucking on Twitch, that's
it was when you actually like look at it, they say that if people have got 20 or more viewers on Twitch, they're in the top like 5% or something like that. So it's kind of like
What game were you consistently streaming?
So I started off. And one of the main reasons why I was on Twitch was I had a backlog of games. So I got through Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, I think Final Fantasy 15, Nier Automata. And I was like, I've got to get through these games, so I'll stream them. And then I think I was playing. The last one I played was, I think, towards the back of like God of War, and I know with Final Fantasy 15, I got halfway through that, and some guy comes and goes, "Oh, you're at this spot. This happens," and just destroyed the story for me.
Oh, what a fuck!
And I was like, and it just pisses
clearly
off.
he did it on purpose.
I'm like,
right?
and then I was playing God of War, and I just sat there, and I was enjoying it, and then just the backseating just came, and it was just like, yeah, like, you
the
should
backseat
be,
gaming.
Man, and
that.
I'm sitting there just doing Twitches. I'm like, I'm like, okay.
So, I mean, this is actually a really cool thing because I don't think a lot of the people we have following probably have never even followed a Twitch stream and stuff. Do you like how?
I still
how
follow
often,
Amaruth because
But how often do you? Yeah, I know, Pete. I'm asking the real questions here. Like when you're playing on a stream, like how much are you constantly talking through it?
You'd have to retain viewers and get actual interaction, make it fun, consistently talking. Like even if
you're
it's
commentating on your gameplay.
you're commentating.
That already sucks the fun out of gaming.
And So anyway, like I did the open world. So I'm like, oh no, I've got to want to start enjoying these again. And that's when when COVID hit. That's when I got into Final Fantasy 14. Because I'm like, I need something to kind of keep going and
which is an online game.
Yeah, online game, MMO like World of Warcraft, and that's when I got sucked into that and just was like, okay. And then end of 2020 came around. I'm like, okay, now I'm getting to like the end game, and I'm like, end game's not that fun to kind of play. It's good if you kind of want to fill in some time and just but to stream it, I'm like, it's not that exciting to stream because you just can't commentate on anything. And I'm like, I'm not doing open world games because I think when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, like I had that on pre-order at EB Games for 4.5 years. And I was like, I am like, as soon as they announced it at E3, EB Games always said, yeah, you can pre-order it. So I had it there, it was like 4.5 years. I'm like, I'm not streaming this because I'm not having backseat games. So I got to the end of 2020 and I was like, I'll occasionally stream, and all my gaming is all offline. Because now what I find as well, especially this year, I'm sure you guys agree, is that after working all day, sit down and just zone out on a game is bliss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's
unless you're going for a trophy or something that's frustrating. Through my fucking controller at the TV earlier.
Yeah, and like last night I think I was up until midnight playing Ghost of Tsushima, and it was just like I turned around, I'm like, where's 4 hours of my life? And it was super relaxing. That's why I was like, I'm not going back. I'm kind of
No, 100%. Yeah, the only way I could think of doing streaming was when we were tossing up the idea of doing the Pixels and Pints stream.
But that's because we don't have to think about... We're not sitting there constantly commentating on what we're doing for an audience.
No, we were going to sit there and we were going to the
hang shit on each other, and that's the commentary.
I would have backstabbed you so many times.
Yes,
it's not fun.
And that's the other thing. And people like watching that because you get to some of those bigger streamers that do like FPS and battle royales and stuff like that. Where they're
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, Tim the Tatman
for PUBG.
All those.
And the guys who used to do like the Destiny raids, and they'd be the first to do it, and then people would just glue to their screen. So
but yeah, there's probably only really one stream that I go back to constantly, and it's this dude that he's been streaming for like 10 years, but he used to work for Primal Games. Doing all the hint books, like the guide books. So he's kind of like, and he plays and it's a game that I like. He does a lot of plays a lot of indie games, but plays a lot of like Escape from Tarkov, and I don't do FPSs at all. But he's just one of those guys that kind of will sit there and he'll just.
Wasn't that the original PUBG? Escape from Tarkov? Wasn't that? Am I thinking?
No, I think because Escape from Tarkov's a little bit. I don't understand. Don't get me to explain because I have no idea what it's about. But he's one of those it's almost like a 6, 7, 8 hour kind of YouTube video where he'll talk about the game industry and he'll play a lot of indie games and he'll kind of run through like first playthroughs, but it's kind of like he'll pick it apart and make it kind of entertaining. So you're actually kind of like, and he played a lot of what was the roguelike that Dan was gonna start playing that we recommended to him. I can't think of it, but yeah, he plays like roguelikes, but there's like, yeah.
Oh, Hades,
yeah. So it's but that's the only time that I'll spend any time on Twitch now. It's kind of,
I've got to say, in the last like year and a half, the only reason I've gone on Twitch was for the Bar 89 things they were doing.
Those were fantastic. Yeah, that's
the only reason I've gone on to Twitch. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure
who was the dude that used to always make the inappropriate jokes.
I think he was one of the staff at the time.
Yeah. He's one of the staff.
That was hilarious. That was good.
Some of those were next level.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones as well, when someone starts that, you're like, I can beat that. But I shouldn't, but I could.
I could, but I won't.
And then I'm going to walk this line for the rest of this trivia, being like, how far can I go down?
Yeah.
Yep.
He always kind of reminds me of William Tennyson on YouTube with some of his calls.
Yeah.
I don't know who William Tennyson is.
I vaguely remember who.
The fitness guy. You know who he is, Tom. We've talked about him before. Or am I... Will Tennyson?
May have. Nope.
No?
Probably
not ringing any bells.
May have lied to you.
Oh, okay. He's a fitness influencer on YouTube, and he's.
Oh, I definitely have no idea. Who the fuck
well, I was kind of surprised that you said that you did know who he was, but he does.
When
talk
did
about,
I say that I knew who he was?
Like last time we talked, it would have been the last podcast episode, actually. Off air.
I lied.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can't remember.
I must have been drunk. It must have been in the second half.
It doesn't matter. As the point is, he's one of those guys that talks a lot about training and how to get the most out of fitness and health and diet and all that sort of shit. But
William Tennyson.
Fuck you, Tom.
That guy.
Fuck you, Tom. But some of his jokes are really walking the line, which is what makes him fucking great. Anyway, we should take a break. I hate to break up the flow, but the app will explode if we don't take a break soon.
It is break time. Yes,
it is. It is break time.
Need to be redone.
Refreshed. So we will be right back after this message from Tom. Actually.
Hey. Hey.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
Go, 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 go.
It's actually the ringtone for when my dad calls me.
You've said that before. Yeah. All right, so let's quickly kick off with the spotlight. Tom's got lights. For anyone who's listening and not seeing the YouTube, Tom's got the PlayStation logos lit up in neons.
Sitting on Emma's exercise bike.
Yes, so I'm going to move us along or else we're never going to finish this episode. So we'll start off with the spotlight. Just quickly, I just wanted to gather our first impressions of Andor. We're not going to go into it in any kind of detail, but just is it good? Is it worth watching? Are you nuts for not watching it on already? That's really...
If I may start, Andor is I think one of the perfect series to get someone who's not crazy about Star Wars interested in Star Wars. Because it's not space wizards and laser swords, and it is a grounded political thriller. and I think
It's in a lived-in universe,
Yeah,
and I am
yeah.
loving that part of it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
there's a
100%
definite way.
agree.
I've sent it to a few friends, being like, "Hey, I know you don't really like Star Wars, but this is just a real good show. It's a really good character-driven show. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Just try the first couple of episodes. You've got Disney Plus anyway. You may as well use it." So yes, I am saying that. That said, though, there are some fucking deep cut references that I've seen in there. Yeah.
Well, there was a reference to Indiana Jones in the last episode, in the most recent. Although you're one behind.
No, I've caught up.
Oh, you've caught up. Did you catch the Indy reference?
I caught the Force Unleashed reference.
Yeah, that was in there as yeah.
Yes, I really like. I'm enjoying Andor because I've got like the backstory of Star Wars and Easter eggs is that I just don't have. So watching something like this, as Tom said, it's like a political thriller, and it's kind of like the character driven. I can start picking up on that stuff, and kind of there's context to a lot of other kind of Star Wars stuff that I could go back and watch and be like, oh, that's kind of that's what it is, which is cool.
And Mon Mothma is fucking hot. You knew I was going to say it.
Yeah, I saw the notes and I tried to ignore it.
Why? I can have an opinion. There's nothing wrong with my opinion. It's not a politically sensitive opinion. I'm allowed to appreciate
I
things.
know.
You know, to the
Also,
actress...
if we want to talk about hot, Stellan Skarsgård with that fucking wig, that man got 10 times more attractive with those wavy
totally did.
silver locks.
And it fucking
Jesus,
that wig
what a
was,
glow up.
and that wig looked seamless too. Like it was fucking. No, so the actress playing Mon Mothma for some reason reminds me of a young Scully.
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know why. Just.
But how close does she look to the original actress for Mon Mothma? It is crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at some side by side stuff at the moment, and it's
pretty fucking insane. I hope they find someone just as good for Love in Alderaan Places. What's his name? Leia's dad. Senator Organa. There you go. I'm just going to use the generic term because I can't remember. But someone, because he was looking very old in Obi-Wan. Yeah. He can't play the middle-aged.
No, he can't.
the middle-aged senator anymore. Sorry, pal. It's like I can't play a high school student anymore. It's the dead eyes that give it away.
It's the 1,000-yard stare. Yeah.
Seen some shit. But yes, Mon Mothma is like almost identical to the original actress. It is like it's crazy how close they are.
It is very crazy.
It's uncanny. It's but there's no alteration. That's the uncanny part. Like
yeah. And it was Bale. Bale is his first name.
Bale Organa.
It was gonna bug me until I figured it out.
Also, I'm really loving that in all the Star Wars media at the moment, we're slowly getting closer to some live action Clone Wars action. Like we're just getting little throwdowns here, like in Andor,
Easter eggs here and there.
Yeah, but we had separatist uniforms on a ship, and then if we go back to Obi-Wan, we had the Anakin Obi-Wan training in episode 2 times, and then you go back and we also had like more Order 66 stuff is slowly coming out. It's like they're slowly walking us back to going Dave Filoni being like, fine, you can finally make a live action Clone Wars series. Here you go. Like, so, fingers crossed.
Yeah, it'd be cool seeing with I found it similar to with Obi-Wan going down that political thriller kind of more that route to get is a good way to get people in. So showing that it's there's more to the Star Wars universe than
space wizards and laser swords.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's
which is a big problem that Star Wars has had for a while.
Exactly. It's kind of everyone
not accessible.
Yeah. So there's actually like the politics behind it, which has been super interesting.
Which is funny because if you think about when they released Episode 1, everyone was like, what the fuck's with all this political shit they keep throwing in there?
Yeah.
And now people are like, I fucking love it. Give me more. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I just wanted to quickly just cover off on that because it's been mind-blowingly good. In fact, everything we're watching at the moment. I mean, She-Hulk's been brilliant. Andor's been brilliant. Rings of
The
Power.
latest episode of She-Hulk had me in stitches.
Yeah.
I've got to
And with
catch
all
up
the
on-
C-list fucking villains.
Yeah.
That was great. You've got Rings of Power. If you're watching that, that's the latest episode. That was
So good.
fucking
I'm an
amazing.
episode behind.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. We're not talking about any of it. It's
nothing.
just so damn.
Your message
Nothing.
last night, Peter, almost blew up at you. I was meant to be like,
really?
24 hours at least.
Really?
No,
I was just
no
saying it was
opinions
good.
whatsoever.
All
No
I said
opinions
was
whatsoever. Shut the fuck up, everyone.
I was going to expand on it, but I'm like, no, I
No,
won't, just in case. It's too good. It's too
And the
good.
other one was the Game of Thrones prequel is what's it called? House of the Dragon has been excellent, and they've now transitioned to the second phase. So they've swapped out all the actresses and actors. Or
All of them?
Not all of them. Matt Smith's still in it as the bad guy, which is he's such a spectacularly good bad guy. And just to see my doctor drop the C-bomb still blows my mind. Just blows my mind. But that has been an excellent show. And their transition of actors from youngsters to kind of adults, like 20-something-year-olds, the actors they've picked have been really spot on to continue portraying those characters.
That's
So,
good.
yeah. Anyway, do you want to move on to our third beer?
I've just poured mine, so I'm ready.
Before
That's
we
good. Yeah, I just
weirdly
poured mine as well.
cut into Before we weirdly cut into Are You Winning, Son? Early, you keep trying to push that in the show notes into the first block, and I keep pushing it in the second
It's
block.
getting further and further up.
No,
the list.
well,
Oh, no,
no,
that was just
every
that's how the
episode.
template was. I'm sorry, that was how the template was.
Okay.
I just cut things. You can move shit about wherever you want, Peter. You go first this time, all right? Everyone else has gone first. You go first with your beer.
It's your-
Fine, I will. I picked a mini can for my third beer because the fourth one's a $7.50. Fucking Tom.
Lights.
Only like 20 people are ever going to see that on our YouTube channel because no one watches the YouTube channel. They all listen to the episode.
Next episode, Pete's gonna have more lights. Is
Yeah, I know. This is the whole reason I've got them just to GP up to get more lights.
I fucking
Apparently,
hate my lights.
I can. They're music reactive. I might press the button. And see what
That's
happens.
why they seem really kind of randomly skittish.
No, this is just the flashing. But I think of the next section, it's music reactive.
Oh, okay.
I'll start
So
singing
this is Garage Project's Raspberry Cabaret, which is their raspberry hibiscus raspberry hibiscus sour. Willkommen to the cabaret. To the cabaret? This delicious tart fruit.
Cabaret?
Yeah. Cabaret. It's like willkommen is German, is it not? Willkommen.
Oh, yeah.
To the cabaret. This delicious tart fruit Berliner Weiss. Yeah, there you go. There's the German reference. Is loaded with raspberry and aromatic hibiscus flowers, creating a stunningly colourful, effervescent sour, bursting with exuberant floral and berry fruit notes. Divine decadence in a can. It's 4%. It's quite low ABV, frankly.
But good for a sour, though. You don't want your sour to be too much.
I've had some pretty boozy sours.
Imperial sour.
True.
Oh, fucking look at
It is
the colour on that
bright
bad
red,
boy.
Ooh.
no head
Ooh.
retention, and it's
That is
hello.
a fruity boy, isn't it?
like
Yeah.
chewing on fucking raspberries. And the best
I was
part
going to
is
say it's very strawberry raspberry looking, isn't it?
raspberry is a naturally tart fruit. It's got that sharp bitterness, not bitterness, sorry, sourness to it. So it is fucking spot on. This is a great little sour. And for 4%, you can just keep drinking it.
Yeah. That's what you want in your crushable summer sour, that fruit forward number.
And the Berliner Weiss backbone isn't like it's not Berliner Weisses aren't that sour. It's not like a kettle or a mashed sour. So it's that's really well balanced. If anything, you could whack some salt in that and it'd be a solid fucking gozer. It's got that kind of edge to it that you can tell that it would be quite well balanced against some sea salt. Anyway, 4.5. Ed?
another WA beer. This is another Freo beer. So I'm doing the other side Festive Session Ale, 4.2%. They say the Festive Session Ale was the brewery's inaugural release, crafted to be the ultimate expression of a festival beer. Festive packs enough flavour to intrigue, yet is an eminently sessionable brew. This medium-bodied ale is supple and malty, with tropical citrus notes and a refreshing finish. Had one of these before, and I really like it. It is...
I'm a big fan of other side beers.
Yeah,
really big fan.
It's definitely, again, with only being 4.2%, it's definitely one of those kind of, you can have a couple at lunchtime to get you through the afternoon. Yeah, super tasty. Super tasty. I'm going to have to go and check them out as well, because they're only down in Freo, which is only a couple of k's down the road from me. But yeah, I really like it. It's nice. I'm going to have to give that a solid 4.5. It's super nice, and I'm hoping to kind of pick up a few of their other beers to try some of their range out as well. But yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah, cool. They're a really cool brewery as well. I was Emma and I were lucky enough to get over to WA. Kind of, was it pre-COVID? It must have been pre-COVID. Yeah, it was the first time over there, and we got through Little Creatures, won a trip over there. But got to Little Creatures, and they were like, no, nothing's booked in. Like, there's no tour, there's no nothing. Like cool, all right. Well, and I called I'd recently bought some other side beers, and I messaged the rep, just like, I was like, fuck man, I'm in Freo. I'm like, I might as well go see the brewery. Messaged the rep. He got back to me within like 10 minutes. He was like, hey man, I've just spoken to the brewery. So there's a VIP table waiting for you. There's beers on hand. There's all this shit coming in. I'm just like,
oh wow, what a legend.
That's insane. He's like, you're one of the, like, you know, he was like, you're one of the few venues in New South Wales that's put us on tap. Like, it's the least we can do. And it's just like, I've been selling fucking Little Creatures and Tuies for years, and they can't get it right. But yeah, and I got to check out their brewery, and it was super cool. This was before, I think, just before they built that. They built that music hall. Is that still going? They were buying a music hall.
They do. They do
a lot of music stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So they do pop up events, and there was one up the road from me about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's pretty small. Like it was a small little kind of open area in one of the shopping centres up the road, where they'll put in like a little beer garden, like 2 sea containers on top of each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, live music and stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to go, but I've seen a few of them. They do pop up. They do a lot of pop up events, which is super, super cool. And that's pretty much because I didn't know too much about them for a bit. And then, yeah, they're starting to get some decent traction around town.
I remember, yeah, when I was over there, the guy was telling us how they were looking at buying like 1,000-person venue, and there was gonna be their music hall. It was gonna be the other side music hall, because they do a lot of limited releases, which are like, they're all music focused.
Yeah.
So the guys guys are super music focused and festival focused.
Yeah, because they got on the side of the Other Side Brewing Co. was created by a bunch of music industry friends on a mission to make beers so good they would bring people together. Part of all our sales go to supporting the creative industries through our Tapped Fund, which is cool because you kind of want, you know, when you think of music and festivals, you want a beer that you can kind of drink in the sun, drink through the course of the day. Like, that's only 4.2%, and you could easily kind of get through the afternoon in the sun, and not and be able to last the evening at night rather than being absolutely destroyed after 3 or 4 6% type of thing.
That said, they do a wonderful imperial stout if you don't want to last the first set.
Yeah.
If you don't want to get through the opening song, then they've got the beer for you.
They've got a beer for you. Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually interesting. I said I need to find some of the kind of stocks more actually go to their brewery and pick some more up, because that's got a nice kind of citrus hit to it, and really sessionable.
Yeah, cool. Tomo, What are you drinking, mate?
I am drinking a new brewery for the podcast, and a new brewery for me, actually. Fontaine Brewing. So Fontaine Brewing, it's a kind of cool can, all printed silver, very reflective of my computer screen. They're botany-based in New South Wales.
Looks like a Modus can.
Yeah, but it's all printed on the can and is slightly raised off the can as well. So it's not just just a label, which is cool. This is their whole hop IPA. So they've done it's a classic West Coast. We're using Centennial, Columbus, and Chinook hops. And they're using New South Wales Voyager malt, which representing on whichever tit that I've got. So they're a New South Wales malt grower that Batch have a good relationship with. So this one though, they're saying they're using the whole hop cones. So it's not pelleted, it's not cryo hops, it's not any of the new fancy fucking hop dust, essence of hop. Someone thinking about hop in the other room, and then the hop just magically appears via drone. No, this is just the whole cone chucked right in there. We call
that the Bezos hop.
Yeah, the Bezos hop. Yeah, the Amazonian hop. And Centennial, Columbus, and Chinook are the kind of classic American West Coast hops. You can even see it in the way just it pours. That is West Coast colors. That is West Coast colors through and through.
Especially with the dancing lights behind them from the fucking
how good are the lights?
The PlayStation lights.
Yes. This is 45 IBUs, so nice and bitter.
Yeah.
This is it's such a classic example of the IPA that I want to see more brewers making. Like when Dan and I were talking episodes ago about bring back the West Coast. This is bringing back the West Coast.
This is the title of an episode, man.
Yeah. This is a great example of that. This is got that dankness, it's got that bitterness, and it's got that floral and pine coney, like the flavors just they come through from the bottom as well. It's not just like a hit on the top of your palate. It somehow seeps in and then just bursts out from the bottom once you're done with your mouthful. And sitting at a solid 6.8% as well. That is very, very nice. In a nice 440ml can. I'm giving that a 5.
5.
Ooh, nice.
Big
that is
number.
Exceptional
Nice.
West Coast
Hey.
for a brand new brewery I don't think they've been operating long. And they tend to focus on actually you'd love a lot of their beers. They tend to focus on a lot of like Berliner Weiss. Like I wouldn't say they're slow lane-ish, but they definitely think about those old world styles a lot more than they think about their new world styles.
Very yeast forward.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I want to see more of them around. So really excited to see more of them coming out. But I'm going to enjoy this. In the words of Anakin, this is where the fun begins.
West Coast is back, baby.
Yeah. So we're going to move into Are You Winning, Son? Which is a little out of order because usually we do trailer trash at the start of the second block, but that's okay. We're going to do Are You Winning, Son?
Let's keep the people on their toes, I think.
Let's just fuck with everyone's head.
Constant chaos.
So Ed, you're our guest. Are you winning, son?
I won the big game today. Finally.
Yeah, you did.
At 1:26 this afternoon.
That is fresh.
Because I looked at the time, I scored that platinum trophy in Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm proud of you.
As I said, like Sadhi, like that Act 1.
It almost defeated you that game.
It was just like not even.
It's a tough first act, yeah.
I've had games where I've kind of started, put down, come back to. And I think when I was playing it, like I just got to Act 2, starting to open up, and then like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm like, okay, what have I got coming up? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be stubborn. I'm gonna finish this game.
Well, next month you're going to be playing fucking Ragnarok
Island.
Yeah. Well, I need a bit of a break from it. But I kind of like, I was like, where has this story been? Like the story in Act 2 and Act 3 was kind of just open up, and like there was the monk side quest where you rock up to the shrine or the temple, and his brother's there, and he's had his arms and legs chopped off. And then when you kill or when you right at the end when you duel his uncle, like Jin's uncle, you got to decide whether
spoilers for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, it's been out for like over a year.
A couple of years. Yeah, a couple of years. Sorry, but yeah, it was. It was.
I mean, there's
pretty
no
funny.
right or wrong choice in that, and I hated that.
And there was
Actually,
also,
can I just address something with Ghost of Tsushima and spoilers? We ruined it for my delivery guy.
Oh, really?
The batch.
That
so
sucks.
Jack is a guy who listens to our podcast.
I'm
is a
sorry,
big
Jack.
fan.
That's fucked.
And he was like 3 hours from the end of the story, and he listened to our episode where we were talking about.
It was my fault too because I asked Dan. So, did you kill your uncle or not? That was my fault. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack.
So, Jack,
I
a
feel like
heartfelt
an
apology.
arse.
I know you're
Yeah.
going to listen to this and you're going to be sitting in the warehouse. You're probably going to throw a keg at me, and I probably deserve it. But yes, we are sorry for ruining the end of that game for you.
Fuck.
In our defense,
That sucks hard.
play it on release.
Play
it on release. Your dog.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I only said that last bit because I knew you guys had already spoiled it before in the previous episode. So if someone's got this far in this episode, they've already got that far in the previous episode. The other episodes.
But
totally
I do feel Jack
bridge
was
is
pretty devastated.
That bridge has already been crossed, but so I think I went back. I think I had to pick up like this second bamboo slicing thing.
The
Like,
bamboo shrines. I love that
so
minigame.
I managed to miss the second one because I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. And then
that would have been annoying. But you got the wind. You can use the wind to figure out.
And then, but what I had to do is I had to work out which one I'd missed. So I had Google up on one thing of like, which one have I got? That one here, I've got that one, I got that one, I got that one.
Yeah.
Then I missed like the paying tribute to the like hidden shrines. Which wasn't too bad. Like I kind of went through that was pretty straightforward. And I missed like the fourth haiku. Again in Act 1, and I think the two that I missed, the bamboo and the haiku in Act 1, was probably me going, I'm fine.
I can't be fucked.
Like this is just I hadn't kind of like the buzzing beetle and the bird were annoying me at that stage. I was kind of like I wasn't impressed by it all. And then I'd missed like this shitty little side quest in like in a hut just below like where you hung out in Act 3.
A
I was
village
like,
in the middle of nowhere.
I was like, I was like, I was always going to like, cause I'm like, I've got everything, haven't I? And I think it just didn't pop at one stage. But yeah, other than that, kind of like enjoyed it, and I'll go back and do Iki Island. But yeah, I'll take a break because it is that kind of. A few things frustrated with me was like when you kind of doing a storyline and you're with like an NPC and you go from like galloping on your horse and then you just go into a slow walk. No reason with that. I was kind of like,
Can we hurry this shit up? Yeah.
One of the biggest frustrations in any video game that I ever have. And
you wanted that to be a topic. I don't think we ever ended up turning it into a topic.
No, because I think I would have exploded. I think I would have exploded, but it is one of those things that really fucking shits me. When you normally go at like a trotting pace, even a trotting pace, not a full-blown sprint normally, and then suddenly you're stuck behind this fucking NPC who's like, well, we're going to take a stroll, and it takes a long time to say anything in old English.
But the worst part with Ghost is then he'd get back on his horse and gallop again for another 100 meters, and then get back off his horse and slow down again. It's like
and it's like you could and they could have fit the dialogue.
Oh yeah, in the trip overall, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's what frustrated was
the grandma stuff at the end. I remember specifically took fucking ages.
Yeah, and that's what was kind of like for me. Was
she the grandma, or was she the she was the server for your parents? I think.
Oh yeah. The
one that teaches you the poison.
Yeah.
can't remember.
I will say if you are going to go back to do Iki Island, don't leave it too long. I think I left it too long between finishing Ghost and then trying to go back to Iki Island because I stuttered my way through the start of Iki Island and I'm like to the point where I was like, this is enjoyable because I was so rusty on the combat style that you learn in Ghosts. So yeah, I would say, go play something fun and easy, but if you really want to get into Iki Island, play it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so I'll go back to it, but I won't be doing a New Game Plus. I know that much. It's kind of a bit too much.
Yeah.
Samurai or Ghost?
Samurai, Unga Bunga. Just
you went Dan style. You went.
So you went in and fucking challenge me.
Yeah,
yes, I'm the outlier. I was fucking darting fuckers left, right, and center.
Unga Bunga, man, just run at me. Just straight in, freaking kill.
It was satisfying.
Kill now, ask questions later, man. Just that's how I play those games, and I think that's why everyone kind of like,
wow, aggressive.
Yeah.
And then I shat on their bodies.
Yeah, it goes back to like playing.
Gouge out your eye and skull fuck you.
it's as I said with in the chat for Forbidden West. It's like I got so much joy of like destroying machine and then just sitting there and mocking them, and then all of a sudden I got taken out by like. So I was down to like 1 health. I got taken out by a fucking Watcher or something.
Yeah,
because I spent so much time belittling whatever I just
teabag
robot. Yeah, teabag like just that's the way I just just 0 to 100 in 2 seconds and go from there. But yeah, but sum it up. For all it's kind of all the struggles I had with it, I did enjoy it. It's visually it was beautiful. The storyline really picked up, and once I worked out all the kind of different mechanics to different stances, enjoyed it.
It becomes quite intuitive as well.
Yeah,
once you figure it out, it does become quite like second nature.
But
like,
you need some time to develop that muscle memory. I found, particularly changing stances mid-fight. Oh, the guy's got a shield. The spear guy's here.
Yeah. Once you get it, though, you're like fucking unstoppable.
Yeah, once you do it, you're like, whoa, I am Samurai Ninja Master.
Yeah.
Tom, are you winning, son?
Oh, you know me, Pete. I'm always winning. I finished Outer Worlds. I platinumed Outer Worlds. If anyone's ever enjoyed the Fallout series,
I'm so going to play that next.
Oh, man, I'll lend it to you. Like, I've got it on disc, so yeah, I'll throw it your way. It's fun. It's irreverent. It's I actually really enjoyed the aesthetic of the world as well. I know I sent to you guys the music from the background music is like pure Firefly Serenity space western. Yeah. Like you walk into the town and it's all that slide steel string guitar and you're just like, oh, that is nice. They need that in fucking Mando is what they need that in. So it was really cool. You have to do 2 playthroughs for it to get the plat. You can do 1, but I recommend doing 2. It's one of those ones where you do the hardest mode. You have to you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to drink. It's like a bit more survival.
Brush your teeth, take a dump. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely focuses more on that survival. If you do it on like hard and then super, super hard, it's like the hard playthrough is just like it's a difficult first person shooter. That kind of annoyed me a bit. It's in that Fallout Skyrim-y way. You can't jump out to a third person view, which sometimes I like doing when I'm running around. So you are stuck with that like, here I go, picking things up. Fallout. Here we go, put it down. Yeah. But also the best thing about it I found was the maps for each planet weren't super big. They were big enough that they felt lived in, but they weren't so big. Like you walked in because they're different colonies on different planets. You walked around and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like you have your main kind of city hub, then you'd have farms out here and have people over there, and like, you know, the quests end up being pretty fetch questy. It's like, go here, find this, kill that dude, do this kind of thing. But easy enough to do. The combat system is pretty standard. You don't have like, again, because it's very much a Fallout clone. You don't have the VAT system. in Fallout, where you can pick which limb you shoot off. Instead, you have what they call time dilation, so you just slow time.
Yeah, okay. So like a Red Dead style.
Yeah.
Gun
So it's a
timer.
bit of that. Yeah. But yeah, you obviously there's aesthetically there's different gun companies which play off. The story in itself, like
Very
if you just play it
Borderlands.
yeah, the story in itself is, and there's a lot of vending machines for the weapons, so that's like a real Borderlands-esque
Yeah,
kind of
for
thing.
sure.
The story's great. It's a solid story about, you get to choose if you go with the corporation or you go with the crazy scientists. Like you get to, pick your own way. For those who are going for like the quickest, easiest plat run, you can do the old get to the choice point, save, pick choice 1, reload, pick choice 2, get the trophies.
Is there another way to do that? Because who the fuck wants to play the whole game 11 times?
Well, yeah,
for
I
11
mean,
branches?
otherwise,
Yeah.
unless you want to play like a good play, like this is, and this goes back to like Ed's point about the spotlight, which I'll go into later about Infamous. I was talking about Infamous is one of the games I want to talk about, where you played the good and then you played the bad.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what you do. You got your good choice, you got your bad choice, or your moral choice kind of thing. But yeah, really solid first person RPG. The points are easy. You've got 6 kind of companions you can pick. They're useful in the lower level difficulties. In the hardest difficulty, if they die, they die. That's fucking frustrating. To the point where most people recommend you just do the lone wolf, sniper, and pacifist. Kind of like, hey, I've got everything in persuasion. Let me persuade you into doing this choice. Yeah, so I did that for my playthrough, and it was fucking easy. It cheated the system, but I played through on the hard difficulty, and it was a good, solid game. I didn't need to play it a second time to get anything else out of it, so it was fine. And then, knowing me, I fucking love a Lego game, so I've jumped into Lego Hobbit, and let me tell you, so I almost put through a topic for us tonight of movie tie-in games, pros, cons. I thought that might be a good discussion, purely because I'm super frustrated with Lego Hobbit, because they released it at the time that the second Hobbit movie was released. So that's where the game ends.
Oh.
They never made a sequel.
Oh, that's really lame.
Yeah. Tells you what, it's you see Smaug
The
flying off and you go,
heartfelt.
oh, and then nothing happens. You go, oh.
Yeah, that's really shit.
So it's one of those movie
Don't
tie-in
put
games
too
that
much
never
emotion
finished
into
the
that.
trilogy. It's like, ooh. And
What-
who's that on? Is that on the developer? Is that on the movie studio? It's like
On Lego.
on Lego, yeah. So
What were you saying there, Ed? Sorry?
I was going to say, don't put too much into that statement before, Pete, about being disappointed that there wasn't a second Hobbit. But anyway,
Yes.
but yeah,
That was-
leaving that one alone.
Yeah.
anyway, that can be cut out the post edit.
No, we leave that in. The awkward moments are the funniest.
Oh yeah,
That's where we get our best
that
reviews.
was super. I should have just said keep going, but anyway.
You should.
Episode 14, The Second Hobbit.
But yes, so I'm now doing all the little fetch questy things at the end of
Yeah.
that thing. I'll tie it up. I'll plat it tomorrow. You know me, fucking throw that one out next.
That's what a long weekend's for.
Pretty much, except I'm working the entire time. No, but it was also on the Lego games are very good in the way that they've developed over the years. So it used to be like just the grunting, go into the mission, you
We
play the
have
mission.
talked about that.
Yeah. This is at that really cool changeover period where it's not quite Skywalker Saga where it's like it's a full open world game, but you still get to run around most of, and in my humbly professional opinion, unnecessary parts of Middle Earth. There is no reason for Bilbo and the 13 dwarves to be climbing Caradhras at any point, yet I fucking can. Why
And
the fuck
therefore
am I also
did.
visiting Lothlorien? For no fucking reason other than the game designer decided, well, we had this left over from Lego Lord of the Rings, let's just chuck it in.
Throw
and add
the
some
assets
padding."
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one will notice. Apart from Tom.
I noticed. Yeah, and
Climbing the mines of Moria again.
no, you go into a fucking dwarf cave. Actually, no, fuck this. You go into a fucking dwarf cave and there's a bunch of Rohirrim fucking heraldry everywhere. And it's like, why the fuck are the Rohirrim here? What? It's just they're reusing assets anyway. It's still fun. I love
Cheap
Lego.
bastards.
No, yeah, but it's just like...
Everyone loves Lego.
Everyone loves Lego. The Lego games are great. It's just a little bit, I'm just like questioning some of their design choices at times. It's like, which intern did you leave with this level?
In charge of this shit. Just gave it to him for the weekend.
Whose boss left early that day?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have to give him credit. Some of the voice acting, actually, one of the voice actors is so Peter Dinklage, it's not funny, but Peter Dinklage is not in it, and it's really frustrating.
He
It
was
sounds
in
so
one of the new
much
Rick
like-
and Morty episodes, and it took me the whole episode. And it was right at the end that I finally picked up on the voice.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was very funny. But yeah, there's and it's you got to think that voice actor's just sitting there having the fucking laugh of his life, being like, I'm ripping off Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make everyone confused. Who's like Hobbit, Lego, IMDb, Peter Dinklage. Where is he? And they're like, no, he doesn't exist. Who the fuck is this? But yeah, it's fun. And then I don't actually know what I'm gonna play next, Pete. That could be a discovery. Probably Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Yeah.
That sounds
Nice.
so good.
That's good.
Peter, are you
Yes.
winning, son?
I am.
Yes.
I am. I'm so Tiny Tina's. I've platinumed. I think I platinumed that last episode. There was one more
You were
thing.
endgaming it last episode.
Yeah, so
What
there
are you
was
talking
one more
about
thing
here?
I wanted to do, and that was if you do a chaos run, which is between 8 and 12 rooms, if you like, with challenges and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And in that chaos run, if it was offered to you, you can elect to include up to 3 raid bosses, like hidden raid bosses. And I'm not explaining this very well, but so in one of these encounters, right, you've got to kill a certain amount of enemies in a certain amount of time, for example, for that room. At the end, when you're given your rewards and you get to choose the path to the next room, because it's a roguelite kind of style game, you hear this weird clown laugh in the background, and there's
Absolutely not.
there's an icon, like there's a glyph on a wall or on the floor glowing somewhere on that map. If you hear that laugh, it means the glyph's there, and the glyph is either green, yellow, or blue. And each one of those glyphs represents one of the 3 secret raid bosses. And so if it's the yellow one, for example, you walk up to it and you tap it, and this yellow streak of light comes out, and it somewhere on this map. There's no bad guys left on this map, mind you, because you've already cleared the encounter. You're ready to step into the portal to the next room. But if you click on this yellow glyph, it creates this spinning rock thing that you have to shoot. And then it turns into a lighthouse game where there's this ball floating in space with this lighthouse beam coming out of it, and you have to shoot it. But if the beam hits you in the eyes, you instantly get damaged. Right? So the idea is shoot this thing, put enough lead into it to kill it, but every time the lighthouse swings past, you have to turn around and look the other way. If you do
So
that,
it's a Gorgon. It's a Gorgon.
yeah. If you do that successfully, then you unlock that raid boss at the end of your run. So if you survive to the end of the game, of the end of that chaos run, the raid
The chaos
boss
run is how long? Sorry. Again?
between 8 and 12 rooms. So between
Right, yeah.
20 and 35 minutes.
Yep.
So half an hour of doing these rooms.
Yeah.
This secret raid boss pops up. Now, this secret raid boss has a mechanic that aligns to that glyph game that you played. So you have to shoot him for a while, and he shoots you, and he's got all these different mechanics, and his health point, like his hit points, are so much higher than a normal boss. But every now and then he burrows underground, and there's this lighthouse thing above him, this glyph that shoots lightning, shoots a light beam around him in a circle. And if you make eye contact with it when it's pointing at you, you die. End of. So there's 3 of these raid bosses. They're all different. They've all got their own mechanics. They've all got their own glyphs to unlock them. If you kill all 3 raid bosses in one run, you get to kill, or you get to fight Tiny Tina. It's the only way to unlock her. And that was the last challenge I hadn't completed. I'd killed all 3 raid bosses, but never I'd only killed
How many dungeon masters have you wanted to kill?
all of them.
Okay, good.
All of the dungeon
That's
masters.
the answer I wanted. Yes, good.
But that was the last thing I wanted to do. So I did that a couple of days ago. I finally locked enough high-level gear to kill her. I've already got the platinum trophy, but that was the one last thing that I hadn't done. And then yesterday, they released a patch that increased the level cap to 100 from 50. And it's now...
That is a big level cap.
And
That's a big job.
It's still fun for me to just jump in and like do a chaos chamber and...
Yeah.
But now I have to do 50 chaos chambers just to get to level 100, just to get better loot. But there's nothing left in the game for me to do other than that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been playing Stray. And I've only just started playing Stray, which is the Pussycat game.
Mm-hmm.
I found Chapter 1 to be quite zen in the sense that it doesn't explain what the fuck's going on. There's no tutorial. It doesn't say, you're a pussycat and you're on this planet and it's post-apocalyptic and you're surrounded by... There's no explanation as to what the fuck's going on. You wake up as a cat, you lick yourself, you fucking meow at your brethren, and then you run. That's the game.
At what point do you put the backpack on?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. I got to Chapter 2. I got to the very start of Chapter 2. So Chapter 1 is pretty much learn how to walk and jump, right? Chapter 2 and meow. Chapter 2, the start of Chapter 2, you're in this on rails sequence map where all these bug creatures are jumping at you and trying to suck your blood. Right? I know this doesn't make sense. It's not because of a bad explanation. The game itself doesn't explain what the fuck's going on. There's these weird bugs. They remind me of the Flood from Halo. Mm-hmm. And there's swarms of them.
They're ticks.
There's swarms of them, and they jump at you. They have these launch jumps, and if their arc intersects with you, they latch on. They suck your blood, and you can throw them off. But if too many of these swarms get you, you die.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There's a 70-second on rails sequence where you're supposed to run through this map and avoid all of these plagues of these tick things. The hardest trophy in the entire game is to get all the way to the end without being attacked once.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm stuck. Chapter 2, 10 minutes into the game, I have attempted this run over 100 times. In fact, I got home early this afternoon before this recording, and I sat down and I thought, I'll give it 20 minutes. I'll give it a dozen attempts. 1 hour later, I still haven't gotten past it.
Ouch.
It is driving me nuts. It is so fucking frustrating because it's a perfect mix of skill.
I've seen the people commenting on this.
It's a perfect mix of Twitch-based skill versus there is enough randomness in it that even if you do everything perfect, you can still just fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah, I would not have the patience to do that.
But you can't get the platinum without it.
That would be.
You guys should fucking play Sackboy.
Yeah. That would be. This game's getting deleted. It needs new.
That was my opinion for Galaxy.
And at the same time, it needs a new TV because the controls went through.
I was so fucking I was getting so angry, and then my cat.
But Guardians isn't that frustrating. It's just you missed a collectible.
Yeah, whatever, Trevor. But the other thing is the cats. The cats are reacting so badly to the TV.
Yeah.
Because it's constant meow noises, obviously, and Kara recognized before the meow noises. Kara recognized there's a cat on that TV.
Yeah.
And so,
wow.
So
that's impressive.
She jumped. Yeah. She was watching it from the ground, and I sent you guys a photo on WhatsApp. She was watching it from the ground. Then she jumped up on the telly and tried to attack the television. And then when that didn't work, she ran behind the television and spent the next hour trying to investigate behind the telly as to where the cat went.
Yeah, far out.
So it's like, I don't know if I can play this game while they're active. If they're asleep, it's fine. And I've got surround
headphones,
sound.
bro.
Yeah. Well, no, but it's not just the audio, though. It's the visuals. She can see that there's a cat on the screen.
So, that was my next question. Have you tried it with wearing headphones, and does she react to just seeing
I
the cat
muted
on the
it,
screen?
and yes, I muted it, and she did react to the screen.
Wow.
But the worst part is the meows, because I've got surround sound. So she was actually climbing on me.
One of the trophies is to meow 100 times as well.
Yeah. But so Kara climbed onto my shoulder because behind my couch, I've got like a high headrest on the couch, and behind it, I've got some custom made furniture where the surround sound speaker lives, and it's So it's behind the couch. You can't see the speaker. And Kara's sitting on my shoulder trying to get through the fucking couch to find the meowing sound because of the surround sound. So, anyway.
Yeah, far out.
But it seems like a really peaceful, relaxing Zen game when you're not trying to get this goddamn fucking
You
trophy.
don't get attacked by fleas.
Yeah, anyway. We should move on. It's going to be the episode that never ends otherwise. Should we get into some trailer trash? We've got like 1,000 trailers to get through.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, do you want to kick us off, Tom, while I go grab my 4th beer? Do you mind?
Sure. I can kick things off. Let's talk about The Last of Us. Well,
Fuck
actually,
yeah.
should we? If you guys haven't fucking played it, so what the fuck are you? There's no
No, but I
fucking
know
way.
Wait.
I know the story, and I've played enough of it.
I mean, we finally got a bit more of a meaty trailer. Peter, fuck off to your fridge. Away with ye. Away with ye. Away. You flying monkey. What was it? Wizard of Oz, bitch.
Wizard of Oz.
So yes, Last of Us. We finally got a bit more of a meaty trailer, and it's looking fucking mint. It is looking very good.
For someone that hasn't played the original games, it definitely has sparked my interest in actually going, I want to watch the series, and B, it's driving me to actually go and play the game as well.
Play the game before you watch the series.
Yeah, okay.
I cannot reiterate that enough to anyone listening. If you have not played Last of Us, you have a PlayStation, go and play the original game, whether it's the Part 1 PS5 release or just the remaster. Just go play it because it is one of the great games, and I would hate for the series to change anything or deviate and you not know the original, and then like I want you to have the original before you get whatever they've done on the TV, because they will change things.
Yeah, indefinitely, for sure.
Yeah, even with the characters, like that, the people they've got to play the characters. Like, I love Nick Offerman. Like, I fucking love Nick Offerman, and I think he's going to be great as the crazy hermit dude that he's going to play, without giving too much away. But like, you need to play that sequence before you see Nick Offerman play that sequence.
Yeah, okay, so you get a bit of an understanding of it all.
Well, it's just like you're gonna get the Nick Offerman take on that. You should have the original take before you do that. And like just like even just breezing through one, like do it on the just the story mode if you don't want to go into like the full challenge, but just play through the story mode of Last of Us 1 before the series comes out. It'll take you 20 hours. Like it's not that hard, especially on like the easy mode. And then if you really love it, go back and play it on super fucking. I've never finished it on grounded mode. I don't think I ever will. My brother has, and I tip my fucking hat to him.
My first and only playthrough attempt, I got to the halfway mark on grounded. It's the only way I've ever played that game.
You fucking monster.
I didn't quit
monster.
it. I didn't quit it because it was too difficult. I quit it because I got distracted by something. It was probably international travel for work or something. That's usually fucks my games up.
Grounded mode is fucking intense. But yeah, play it on like I play it. I always play those games first on like the medium to hard difficulty. You right there, Peter?
I'm trying to pull a cork out, and I'm really worried about the really
I thought
expensive computer screen in front of me. I'm just seeing champagne go everywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Twist. Don't forget to cut the balls.
Does it go over the balls?
And then just play it even on the easiest mode. Just experience the story before you go into that series. I beg of everyone listening to this. And even if you don't have a PlayStation, you don't intend to buy a PlayStation, you don't want to fucking play the game, just find it on YouTube and just watch.
Yeah, watch the story.
Just watch it on YouTube. Like, they've got things now, it's like a 5 hour. You can, stop and start wherever you get to. But yeah, really, like, see that before you see the actors' take on those characters. I implore everyone.
Oh my God. Oh. Cool.
It's either good or bad, and we'll find out in just a second. But yes, Last of Us, before we finish, it's it's looking good. Like
it is.
there have been some horrible game to TV/movie adaptations.
I don't think this is going to be one. Not with Pedro Pascal in it, and
I think choosing Pedro Pascal as Joel is 100% the right move.
Diego Luna is playing the brother.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. And Bella Ramsey is playing
yes. Ellie. Yeah. I think it's going to do it justice. I really do.
Yeah.
We've got 11,000 D23 trailers to get through, so let's just rip through them.
I think we can rattle a few of these off.
Thankfully, even the YouTube doesn't show the trailers anymore, so I don't have to make sure we talk about each individual trailer for at least 3 minutes so I can have enough time to play the trailer. Secret Invasion looks really fucking good. I love Nick Fury. I'm so glad that he's back.
It's the most interesting of the lot, I think.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah. And Pete and I were talking about it. I made the comment earlier on before we started recording, is about Nick Fury not having a major role in any of the previous Marvel stuff. So it's good to see that he does have his own kind of series, and
that works with the Nick Fury of the comics, because for a while Nick Fury just went into space and fucked off. Just left it. Maria Hill took over, and
which is exactly what this trailer is.
That was after Civil War. Fury was just like, I'll be in space. See you guys later.
And it's good to see him back, and it's good that it's Samuel L. Jackson as well, because it's just, again, it's the right actor. It's the actor that everyone knows, and I think it'll. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Also, Secret Invasion was one of the best Marvel arcs of the mid 2000s.
Yes, yeah, it was.
The whole who do you trust,
and it's looking pretty creepy in the trailer too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. Mando season 3. I mean, we'd seen a couple about fucking time. We'd seen a couple of things here and there, like some bootleg shit that came out from various Disney expos before we got to have a look at them in Comic Cons and stuff. So it was nice to get a final trailer. Or not a final trailer, but an actual trailer.
An actual trailer, yeah. That's when's Mando season 3 out? It's mid next year, isn't it? Did we say that earlier?
May, I think they were doing the May release for this one.
It's
either May or
November. It'll be a May the 4th
remember.
release, probably.
Yeah. Not only do we get delightful amounts of the new Naboo starship, which I fucking love.
It's another Lego kit waiting to happen.
Yeah, we're going back to Mandalore, which we knew was coming, but we're officially going back to Mandalore.
That's so good. Freaking unreal going back to Mandalore. It's I'm hoping that they spend a fair they spend a fair bit of time there story wise to flesh it out, because it's kind of the first 2 seasons they've alluded to Mandalore, but you kind of like, it'd be good to be like, I want to see what they do, like what angle they take. So yeah, hopefully they give it justice and they spend a fair bit of time.
I mean, introducing the Darksaber into the live action Mando series, and then putting Bo-Katan in there, and her connection to Rebels, and the Darksaber in that, and the fact that it ties to the history of Mandalore. It was the lightsaber created by the first Mandalorian Jedi, and all this stuff about how you rule Mandalore if you actually control the Darksaber. And that is a very, very heavy overtone in that first trailer. And look, it by all accounts, we're getting some sort of Mando Civil War. Yeah. Which is not what you want when you want to rebuild your entire like space nation race, whatever you want to call it. Like, I
think it's going to be that proper kind of space western action, just kind of like the sheriff is coming back to town, and it's well,
it's the sheriff is in town in Bo-Katan, and then you've got the unnamed
Mando's
gunslinger.
Mando's the interloper in this particular scenario.
How that all plays out, but then they're obviously going to connect a lot more back to. They can't ignore all the Jedi stuff out of season 2 and all the stuff with Grogu, so that's going to add more interesting to it. And everyone is just, all the posts I'm reading on every single Star Wars site, it's just everyone it's a lot of fan hoping, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're all thinking like, look, they brought Boba back from the dead. How long until they bring the fan favorite Mace back from the dead with his scarred visage and his one eye missing, and it's like a Fury Mace Windu mashup. They really want. Yeah. But and then how much more of it is like, you know, it's a real threat to the Jedi is having a strong Mandalore back, and if they're trying to rebuild the Jedi Order, like, look, if you're thinking about the Star Wars universe, like how much of how Luke's a nice guy, but does he really want a race of people who hate his entire fucking religion like regrowing out there? Like he's already got enough of that in the Empire. Like, so I don't know. Like, you know, it's a tough path there for Mando and Grogu to be walking, especially if Luke's going to be and Ahsoka's going to be there. Like, you know, she's a grey Jedi, but she still doesn't want a fucking army of Mandalorians coming after her. But yeah, so no, it was nice to see some images. I think it's going to be, you know, the level of Mando that we've
come to
expect. Love and expect. So that's great too.
I put in for the next trailer. Sorry, I'm just pushing this forward because I know.
Do it.
National Treasure: Edge of History. Now, I'm of the unpopular opinion of thoroughly enjoying the two National Treasure movies. With
I've only seen the first. I never saw the second.
Second one, I mean, look, it wasn't as good as the first, as most sequels aren't, but it was still good. So we're getting a Disney Plus TV series based on the franchise. It doesn't have any of the original actors in it, which is unsurprising, but, you know, I don't know that it needs it. It looks like a bit of fun. Hopefully it's not aimed too young. There was lots of shooting in it, so I doubt it's going to be a fucking, like a kids aimed series.
Unless they change the guns to Nerf guns or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if National Treasure is going to work without Nick Cage. I just don't. So that's going to be the question that needs to be answered.
I don't know. There's a pretty popular following of that whole Illuminati American history kind of thing. So I think it has enough.
We're not getting many Da Vinci codes.
It'll have enough people to follow it.
Yeah. And then we got a full trailer for Willow, which, I mean, I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. Have you watched the original yet, Tom?
I've seen the original.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say,
Dan that hasn't then?
Oh.
No, we've all seen it.
Okay.
I think what I said was I wasn't as hyped
with
for it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I when I watched Willow, it was with my brother, and it was like we loved it and we thought it was great fun. And I remember being in the backyard with a stick trying to recreate Val Kilmer's sword play style. But that was about as far as I took it. And when everyone was losing their fucking shit over Willow, I was like, yeah.
So before you came on board tonight, Ed and I were talking about it because Ed and I both watched that show enough times and we memorized dialogue.
Yeah.
It was
like,
up there with Dark Crystal and...
I remember having toys of Willow of like the wolves and I was saying to Dan before as well, as kids, every time my parents had parties or our neighbours had parties and we were like 5, 6, 7 years old, Willow would go on to Shutterski to keep the kids occupied while the parents got blind drunk type of thing. And like, so Willow for us was just like...
got to stay up late and eat cake.
Yeah. A bit more escapism than it really originally meant to be.
So I'm sure my parents
never
would have
worry
loved
that
as well.
Dad's throwing furniture around. Just want Willow on.
Dad.
Or throwing up in the backyard by the sound of it.
Shut up, Dad. We're trying to watch Willow again.
Yeah, see, I didn't have that connection with Willow. I think we watched it, but, you know, for me, it was always Mum and Dad just put Star Wars on and I disappeared.
Yeah.
Or I was jumping off the furniture with a stick in my hand, killing, you know, anything. I was lightsabering the shit out of everything. Yeah. But the new series looks good. It looks very good. It looks very faithful to the original.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember the Willow, the actor that plays Willow, but it's so good to see the original actor,
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis resume his role as Willow, and they've aged it properly. And I still get with the sets and the locations, I still get the feel for like it was the original, and it's just a continuation. It just, I don't know, it just.
It feels like that world's still alive.
Yeah, it's still alive. It's still grown. It's a continuation, and that world has aged along with myself, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of like the nostalgia. So it's not 10 years after, or it's not like 100 years after. It's like
there's quite a lot of there's at least a couple of other actors that have crossed over. So Saoirse, the main,
the baby, was that it?
No. So the older female, I think she was a princess or a queen. She's come across as well.
Yeah, so it's good they've brought that through. Said the time lapse has mirrored the time lapse from the people, the viewers, which is great, which is something you don't really see in storytelling. There's always a kind of it's
either a reboot or
it's
recast characters.
Recast, or it's some weird timeline, but it's like the time that passes is the actual time that has passed. So it's that's what I'm looking forward to. So it's like a continuation of the story, but it's in a real time, which is
you know what's funny, like you and I and like to and everyone else, but you and I especially tonight, we're cheering for like hurry the fuck up and release this thing. I really want to see Willow, the TV series, as a continuity from the movies, and yet when I heard that they were rebooting Neverending Story, I threw my phone on the ground. Like, why are you going to ruin my childhood fucking?
Yeah, and
because they need to make it someone else's childhood.
If they're gonna,
your childhood's done. They're
gonna fuck Falkor with a big purple dildo. There's no way they're gonna do that justice.
I've seen that film.
Saints Row 3.
Falkor does Dallas.
Yeah.
Don't give people ideas. That's an episode title coming to his mind right now. Yeah. Oh, just imagine the horrible fucking artwork. No.
It's done. It's locked in. Falkor does
It's a big
Dallas.
purple dildo with Falkor's head on it. Like,
here's a question for you, because I should say that A Never-Ending Story is getting a reboot.
I just found it offensive.
It makes sense because it's a never-ending story.
Yeah, that's it. But like a month ago, I reckon actually 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Got him. Got him. Do it.
But I was. Do it. Does anyone know if A Never-Ending Story is on any streaming service? Because I went searching the other week, and it was.
Who owns it? Shouldn't it? Well,
because I was like,
on Disney.
Well, that's what I thought, because I had a hankering to watch the originals, because I was like, it was a rainy week, and I'm like, that was like, again, being a kid at primary school when it was raining.
Checking now.
I want to watch.
It's available on Stan to stream, or otherwise you can buy it for $5 from Microsoft, Google Play, or YouTube Premium. So just get Stan.
Yeah, no, I've got a free trial for Stan at the moment, so happy days. There we go. And it's still good for another 2 weeks. Nice. Problem solved.
Well, we know what's happening for Big Easy Eduardo when he finishes this episode. He's 2 hours behind us.
Yeah, and I'm glad I asked the question too.
And the last D23 trailer I saw was that jumped out was Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, which was six short form stories, but in the Bad Batch / Clone Wars style of animation. Yeah.
So we get Ahsoka's origin, and then we get Dooku's origin.
Well, Dooku. No, it was Qui-Gon's origin as Dooku's Padawan. By the sound of it, was that right? Is Qui-Gon Dooku's Padawan?
Well, it's that's a bit of column A, column B kind of thing. It's the way Qui-Gon became Qui-Gon based on Dooku's tutelage, but you have scenes where Windu is there with Dooku.
Yeah.
But then it's all about Ahsoka as well. And then there's it's a time jump for Ahsoka's story because it will be cutting into her training under Anakin versus her upbringing.
Yeah. It's well timed too because the Ahsoka series will probably launch mid next year, I think.
Yeah, I watched the trailer of it before, and I thought that was a good tie to Ahsoka as well. I thought it was
because if you haven't seen all of like Clone Wars and Rebels,
and again, what I was saying before, like for someone like me who isn't well versed in the Star Wars universe, is to get some kind of tie-in animations or some type of backstory that adds context to the original trilogy. Anything and everything helps to fill in the plot holes, because otherwise you kind of sit there and you have the mentality of isn't Star Wars just lightsabers and blasters and spaceships, and they miss, as we're talking about before, they miss the political thriller side of things and the depth of the characters and everything that goes with them. There's so much more, because it's always there's books and books and books and books and books. I mean, it's a whole universe. So
if they properly refer to them, then yes.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, and then just to wrap up the rest of D23, there were a bunch of other announcements, but they were all kind of like, oh, this is being done. I think the only one we didn't touch on, which I'm actually super excited for, and I've got more excited for based on a trailer I saw like 2 or 3 days ago, is Werewolf by Night. The reason I'm super excited for it, Peter, before you make that face, because I see your face, is that it's Michael Giannakio, who is one of the composers for the entire Marvel Universe. It's his first directing job.
Okay.
So this dude who fucking pretty much writes the music for every major movie we've seen recently, and he did Star Trek. He's done a bunch of stuff, but this is his first directorial debut, and he's really leaning into that like 1930s horror.
It reminded me of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah. So he's really leaning into that, but he's composing the music for it and directing it. So I think that's a really cool thing. I don't think we've really seen before. In the like, normally your director talks to your composer and they just, come up with ideas, and here's the shot I just took, make some music for it.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, hey, here's the shot I want to take. This is the music I want to play in that scene. It's melding those two. I think that's fascinating. So I'm really excited to see where that goes and how exciting, exciting or just like
how it works out.
Done. Yeah. I think that's a really, really, really cool thing that they're letting him do. And then, the rest of it was a lot of stuff we already knew would come out.
And a bunch of Disney shit that no one cares about our audience doesn't care about. They rebooted Ariel, and now she's an African-American actress.
Yes, the mythical creature is played by someone of a different race. Oh no!
Yeah, and it got way too much fucking airtime on Twitter. It's like,
of course,
it's the
cesspool of the internet had too much airtime. Oh no!
All right, moving on.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, not for a podcast.
And especially after a couple of beers as well, it'll go down a rabbit hole.
Just didn't see the need for any of that. State of Play.
State of Play trailers. Yes, we got a new PlayStation State of Play. Some stuff we knew was coming.
You picked the two corkers. You picked the two. I think so. I mean, we're all going to be playing Ragnarok next month.
Yeah.
9th of next month? 9th of November? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Which
First
reminds
I
me,
paid it off. I just know I'm going to go pick it up.
Mine's getting shipped. I keep thinking, when am I going to get that knock on the door? Because I'm going to forget, and then it's going to turn up, and I'm going to be happy again. You picked two.
The two games. Pacific Drive. Pacific Drive looks really cool.
That looked really interesting. A car-based first-person survival driving game? Sort of thing?
Where it kind of feels like you're driving the Ghostbusters mobile.
It looks so much like that. Hey?
It's an old American
station wagon.
Yeah. No, So yeah, it's
But you have to
meant
scavenge
be,
parts and upgrade your car, and your car's your survival lifeline thing.
Yeah, and you're driving away from like alien incursions or something like just this basically
It didn't
big light
specify.
explosions.
Yeah, it didn't specify aliens.
And
or...
you have equipment in your car that tells you that one's coming, like an incursion is coming, and you have X amount of time to get your car up and running to get away from it.
It reminded me.
You're driving up and down the Pacific Northwest coast, so like Seattle.
Yeah. It reminded me of the incursions in Love. What was that robot show? Love, Hate Robot? Love, Pray Robot?
Love, Death and Robots.
Love, Death and Robots. Thank you. It was one of those episodes where they're on the farm and they've got nuclear-powered fucking mech warriors that fight the interdimensional fucking incursions.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Anyway, that looked really good.
Just a cool concept for a game that I don't think anyone's
Very
really
original.
touched on. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the other big one was I forgot.
Rise of Ronin.
Oh, yeah.
Which just looked like an arcade.
Ghost of Tsushima with guns.
Yeah, it looked like an arcadey or a more arcadey, less serious.
I don't think it looked arcadey. I wouldn't say that. I think it looked less... Yeah. It looked a bit more on-rail story than open-world RPG.
And it's certainly set far more modern because it did have guns in it. Guns and swords.
Yeah, well, it's Industrial Revolution Japan versus feudal Japan. That's the whole setting of the story. I thought that was the coolest pull-away moment of that shot was when you had a traditional Japanese temple overlooking a very Industrial Revolution era city. Yeah.
Yeah,
look good. Look good. All right, let's move us forward. I'm going to drag us forward.
Okay.
Did you have more to say on... No, I'm just conscious of time. Did you have more to say on the State of Play trailers? I thought they were the two right trailers to call out, by the way. Those are two games
I think they were the two trailers
really
that interested us most. Yeah. Did you have anything to say on Ubisoft now?
No. Fuck Ubisoft.
Good.
And their 11 Assassin's Creed titles. I'm just very over it all. We covered it last episode anyway. Smarty bum.
I don't remember.
Fourth beers. Let's talk.
Yep. Who's going first this time?
You are, Tom. You seem very keen to make comment.
Always. Look at that pour. God, I'm good. Must be a bartender or something. I'm drinking another collab because I fucking love collabs. I love friends working together. I'm having its Range and Garage project. Just in case Peter's typing this or if I'm typing it later.
You can hear it.
This is Tips and Tricks. There is a third collaborator, which Besk, which I think is they are a brewery in America.
Okay.
Oh, three-way.
Love a menage a trois.
How exciting. This is a 6.2% hazy IPA, a modern IPA, dry hot with Citra, Lupamax, Nelson Savon, Motorwaker, and Galaxy. Could you get a more, I don't mean to pick on Range and Garage Project, who I love independently, and Besk I'm just discovering, but that is the basic bitch of hop combination of fucking modern IPA, if I'm going to say it. Christ on a bike. Come on.
Christ on a bike.
Anyway, you know what? It's fucking
Be
delicious.
adventurous.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, just I don't know. It's
That's
that
a hell of
it's
a
that
haze
super
protein.
super
Yeah, I
pale
was going
yellow.
to say that is an interesting color.
It's a much lighter in the light of my
Looks
camera,
like it's
but,
the same color as Ed's shirt, to be honest, from my
yeah,
screen.
but yeah.
Funnily enough, I am drinking Ed's shirt right now.
What makes it even interesting? This is actually like a proper green,
Like a
t-shirt.
pea green.
Yeah, but it's coming out the.
This is more of a golden yellow than it is showing up on the camera. I will give that.
And you've got the Belgium dip going too.
Yeah. It's just a super dry hot mod. It's just a Nipa.
It just sounds a bit meh, to be honest.
It's not a bit meh. It's a very well made IPA.
It's a very well made Me Too. Am I picking up on the wrong vibes? Because you don't seem all that excited about it. It doesn't seem to be breaking any barriers.
I just mean like it just seems like they like I've often said, and Dan agrees that citrus it's the cheat code. It's the cheat code hob. Like they've just gone through to God mode and gone like, here you go, and you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. Like I had people coming in like trying to find this beer, and I was like, oh wow, that's going to be amazing. Like Range make fantastic beers, Garage make, and then I'm just like,
It's middle of the road all the way.
But I wouldn't say it's middle of the road. It's still a very well made beer.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
Just,
given the two breweries involved.
But these breweries are always at a 9, so I guess I was expecting them to do a 19. And I think I've overhyped it for myself now.
Got it.
That's the problem. I've overhyped it for myself. Because it is a very well made IPA, especially in that modern hazy style. And it's just, I don't know. Those breweries I expect a little bit more creativity with. Maybe that's it. That's it. I don't know anything about Besk, but I'm sure that they are just as well equipped to make fantastic IPAs. If you knew nothing about this beer, your fucking balls would be blown to the wall. Like it is a very quality IPA. It is perfectly made. The label is slightly off kilter.
Mongrel bastards.
Do you actually know how many of our listeners now hate that?
Oh, really?
The only people we've corrupted.
It's one of those things that you can't unsee.
That's the problem. Kind of like, ever since I started to listen to you guys, the first thing I look at, if there's a printed label on a can, first thing I look at, does it line up? If it doesn't line up, goes back on the shelf. The next one.
So we are on that fight.
And if they're all lined up, if they're all not lined up, I go to the one that's like closest lined up. Yeah. Kind of like, okay, this is what I'm. Yeah, it's. I'm one of those.
I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay,
it's a very well made IPA. I just, with that pedigree, I expected a 6 out of 5 IPA. I think I've overhyped it for myself, and this might be my apology to those breweries that I've overhyped it for myself, and that is the problem with hype breweries. It's my own fault. It's not their fault. It's my own fault because it is a very well made IPA. I've just overhyped it for myself. Anyway,
what are you?
So I've gone the Colonial Pale Ale, who are now CBCO. Yep, out of Mug River and Melbourne. They're Pale Ale, which is nice. I haven't had a Colonial in a while because I and if they're listening or they're watching, I went on hiatus.
Oh, they're not.
Because they probably not, but just in case they are, bring.
Like the Pete and I were just like, oh, they're not. No,
they're not. Just
not even.
Actually, you'd be the listeners would probably be surprised at which breweries do listen to some episodes. Some big name breweries in Australia do actually listen to some of our episodes, but Colonial ain't going to be one of them. I can tell you that now.
Yeah, but just in case, bring back your proper full top lid.
So that was actually down to...
And we're back. So we had a technical fault. That was my fault this time. And you were talking about your beer and you wanted... There was something wrong with your ring pull. What's wrong with your pull?
So previously with Colonial, their cans, the ring pull was the whole top would come off. Which was super, super handy. If you went to a barbecue, you could sit there and you didn't need if you wanted to feel a little bit
glass
classy,
or cup or anything,
couple of that, you just pull off the lid, away you went, and you felt a little bit classy. And anyway, Tom was saying there's a reason for that, which
there is a reason for that. So a lot of the people behind recycling plants complained that the ring pulls, when they pulled the whole top of the lid off, that wouldn't be captured, so you couldn't actually recycle the whole can. It's a weird thing in recycling. If you pulled the whole top off, they wouldn't recycle the whole can. That's why they banned them in New South Wales. They were deemed extra rubbish. They weren't like, it's like if you pick off that part of the can, if you don't stick it in the can, they won't recycle that because it falls through the cracks of the machine that they have to, pick up all the tin or whatever. So yeah, that was why they were refused at least in New South Wales. So whole ring pull tops, because Ben Spoke was probably the biggest one next to Colonial. that you used to get those whole tops of the cans off. So they were given a certain amount of time to use up the last of them, and then after that they had to switch over to the standard
There you go.
crack a can model. But yes, the best thing about that whole model of canning system for your beer was that if you pulled off the whole top of your can, you actually got aroma when you drank straight from a can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, why I made Pete the other night pour his half-drunk garage project beer into a glass, and he was like, "You happy now?" I was like, "Yeah, because now you're getting an aroma, because you're not getting aroma out of that fucking tiny orifice."
Yeah, and it was an experience.
Don't. No. Sit.
That was well timed, Tom. That was well timed.
Well done.
Heel.
Because it's the age-old thing of some people enjoy, like, for when it comes to me drinking a beer, is that I like the hand.
I love drinking beer straight out of a can. Love it.
So like the flavour the can gives it is I like that for me that's better than say drinking out of a bottle. I mean, but
that's why I buy my Coke Zero in cans, not bottles, because it doesn't taste the same.
Yeah, and so so when you actually take the lid off, as Tom said, you get the aroma. So it almost feels like you've got the taste out of the can, but you've got that aroma. You've got that feeling like you're drinking out of a schoolie or a pint.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, and I haven't had one for a while. I'm drinking a pale ale, which is quite nice. And I haven't had one of their pale ales in a long time. And again, it's held up. It's 4.4%. Quite tasty. I have spent many nights drinking their small ales. They didn't have it.
Small ale that Clone are doing is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good drop. And I thought I picked it up and I got home. I'm like, I got the pale ale. But their small ale, that is top notch. But yeah, that pale ale again is really, really nice. It's super tasty.
They're also one of the big sours that Woolworths is it BWS is Woolworths?
Mm.
Yeah,
it's their core sour range that they stock.
because it's the watermelon sour. I think.
Yeah, which I've always called it's like Colonial Brewing make an unflavored sour. That's what I'm talking about because it doesn't have a fucking flavor at all. It's just a sour beer with no flavoring. Because watermelon's such a fucking subtle flavor to start with, right?
It doesn't have strong characteristics to it at all.
Tom, what's the facial reaction for?
Don't start me on fucking CUB and flavored fucking fruit beer.
Okay. Okay.
And we'll move on.
Yeah.
Fruity beer? We've just created it. Have you, you fucking dumb? It's only been out for fucking forever.
Was that them?
CUB's the one behind that fruity beer thing I sent you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they invented it. But it's anyway. Let's move on. So what were you going to give that out of 5 there, Ed?
I would give it it's a run of the mill kind of pale ale, stock standard. There's nothing too special about it, but so I'm going to give it probably like a 3.5. I think it's
smack bang in the middle.
Smack bang.
I mean, it's not, but it is.
It's not, but it's kind of it does the job. There's nothing wrong about it. It's a beer that says what it's going to do, and I'm buying it because I want a pale ale, and it's an
inoffensive beer.
Yeah, inoffensive, and I've bought it knowing what I was getting into, and I've got what I wanted out of it, it's nor here nor there. Cool. It's 3.5.
Cool. You still there, Tom?
I was going to say. I was like, that's
fucking around.
Maybe you would go like,
Tom,
Tom, you're making that face, but the lights are flashing in the background.
Yeah.
I'm too drunk to fucking be that observant, to be frank.
That was pretty good. Well done, me. That was good. Whoever's watching that YouTube, if you just watched me make that face for the last 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I noticed the face. Yeah. Right. I am drinking
Peter, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a beer from another country, which makes me just break the rules. This one's from Quebec.
Fucking established rules. Fuck Quebec. That's not another country.
No, it's a city in another country. Yeah. Well, no, Quebec's the capital of Canada, so I don't know that it's a territory. What the fuck was that? Anyway, I'm drinking Eau de Brune.
That was me saying Quebec. Sorry, that's how I pronounce it. Getting ready for my French.
My French. La de da. This is Eau de Brune by Les Trois Mousquetaires. That's another French word. It's just LTM. It is a...
What was it, sorry?
Les Trois? No, Les Trois.
Le Trois. Yeah.
Yeah. The Three Musketeers. I'm fairly... No, it's Musketeers. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Because it's literally... It's spelt Mousque. Why are you laughing? Are you laughing at me or the words?
No, just your initial translation of it.
Les Trois Musketeers.
Les Trois Mousquetaires.
I'm fucking Aussie, all right, mate?
I speak the second best Italian.
Italian.
It is a sour brown ale, which is a really unusual combination of styles.
And it's a classic old Brewing.
It's a Belgian-inspired brown ale aged in oak barrels with a flora of acidifying bacterias and Brettanomyces. It is very strong. It's 7%. It's a 750ml bottle, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. It is lovely. It pours it like you can't see it. It looks a lot darker and a lot more opaque. But from my perspective,
Peter,
it is
this your first Ode Brewing? Oh, I'm very glad I'm here to witness this.
An experience.
That is a...
I actually don't think it is. I think usually I would say
I don't think it is either. I think we've had one together.
I also think I've tried... It tastes a hell of a lot like all of the French lambics that I pick up. Like the 750ml lambics that you get from the cartel. That it reminds me strongly of those.
Yeah, because Ode Brewing is a beautiful style of beer. It's so, I think, underrepresented, especially in the Australian market.
Oh, I couldn't find any. So this was the recommendation from the beer cartel guy when I said I wanted something that was like a complex, barrel-aged sour.
Yep.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted a Lolita, but he said he didn't have anything like that. Just be careful, Ed. Like, we're talking about the beer Lolita.
Yeah, I was going to say, haven't you asked one of these before? Island. And they were kind of like...
Yeah, we walked that line before. It was from Goose Island.
Just making sure you're on the same track. You haven't changed.
Going back to Tom's comment before, I said I'd leave it alone. Different thing.
Yep.
Different thing.
Yep. One of the three sour sisters, not the other thing that we don't talk about on this. Because, I actually don't know when you'll ever get Goose Island in Australia again. Unfortunately, Pete.
I mean, they came out to the Australian brewery and did a whole song and dance, and
that was when Goose Island was imported under CUB under Anheuser-Busch, which they are no longer imported by because Anheuser-Busch sold CUB to Asahi. So And this is a big loss for the Australian beer market, is that I don't know when we'll get any Goose Island beers. Lolita, Bourbon County, like they need to find a new importer. It's
I gotta say,
actually
they're
a massive blow to, because sure, American beer is so far advanced compared to Australian beer, but that inspires so many young brewers.
Yeah.
If you get
the
that
funny
kind of
thing,
stuff out here.
The funny thing was, so when I was in Vegas, that was my first ever US trip. All we drank was Goose Island IPA. Middle of summer, it's fucking furiously hot. Yeah. Goose Island IPAs were like handed around like candy. I think the first 4 or 5 we drank were actually free for some reason. Don't remember why. I was pretty drunk and jet lagged. My point was, it tasted like a mass-produced beer in Australia, but it's an independent brewery over there. Because independent breweries in America, if they're big, are so big they rival like a fucking Foster's or a 4X or a whatever in Australia.
But it's not.
It's not independent?
Nah.
Well, it's now owned by
Anheuser-Busch.
Was it
Miller.
always?
Yeah, AB InBev. AB InBev, because they own CUB as well, and they own Goose Island. Yeah. Because Goose Island that you got in Australia was brewed by Carlton over here for the last, 2-3 years.
I suspect that what we were, but the Lolita beer, I'm pretty certain was imported.
Oh, Lolita was still like. Don't get me wrong. Like they were a mass-produced brewery, but Lolita and the Sour Sisters they were creating were still exceptional sours. They still had a crack team of craft brewers making those kind of beers. That is like they may have been owned by a massive conglomerate, but they were still making quality
Fucking
beers.
good beers. Yeah.
And the Bourbon County, I've got a 2017 Bourbon County in my fridge, the Bourbon County Stout, and like that beer is actually worth quite a bit of money now. But I'm going to sit on it and share it with you boys. Yeah.
Well, the Lolita was I think at the time that we were at the Australian Brewery, it would have been 4 or 5 years ago. There was a $250, $300 bottle of beer.
Yeah.
For a
I used
to
do the Sour Sisters and Bourbon County launch in Uncle Hobbs but it was through CEV. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, this Udbrunn is fucking great. I mean,
I love an Urbanaut. Yeah.
It's not as complex as I was looking for in the beer, but that's not that's not a problem with the beer. That's because it's just not going to hit the mark with I wanted a nice complex barrel-aged cherry sour, something with lots and lots and lots of layers. And that's not the beer I bought, so that's not the beer I should expect. But as a lambic, because that's how I would pitch this. This is a lambic style sour. It's very, very sour in that farmhouse yeast forward sour style, like a lambic is, like a creek. It's great.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of the whole time. I'm trying to think of Australian Ode Bruins I can get to you because I want you to try more of this style because I fucking love this style. I'm a massive fan of it. And it's coming up blanks.
This is what I drank a couple of Christmases ago. I bought like five or six of these of the French lambics, and I'm pretty sure I tore like an ulcer in my stomach drinking that much sour in one small sitting.
I remember you mentioning about that Christmas where you drank a shitload of sours.
Yeah, it was just a stomach acid mess, and that's this style. But no, this is great. I'd give this a 4.25. Like it's enjoyable, it's different. I can't think of where you get it in Australia. I've never seen an Aussie brewery do it. So, that's the end of my story. Should we get on to our? Well, I'm going to call it our main topic, but it's going to be a very short version of our main topic, I think, because we've run pretty well over time.
Would it be a P&P episode otherwise?
True. Every time we set a rule, we break that rule. So
good thing I got my charger.
yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do the final spotlight. Come on, let's dive into it head first, boys.
We can do it. This is actually Ed's idea. This spotlight. I like
this is Ed's spotlight. I love this for Ed.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys.
Take us away, Ed.
Yeah, I got asked a question the other day of what original IP, if you had the chance, would you go off and bring into the current era? And it can be any IP, and it can be put into any genre. So it can be computer game to movie to TV series to game, whichever way. What would you choose? And
well, I wish I knew I had these options before I thought of my ideas. That's cool. That's fine.
So it's pretty much what would you modernize?
Yeah. So what
I took it from a pure game perspective. But
yeah. So
no, that's yeah, okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so to I got asked this question. I was like, that's a really good question because now that with the amount of people that kind of do remakes, remasters, and all the rest of it,
the whole fucking all of Hollywood is just reboot.
Yeah, so that's reboot after reboot.
There's like I got 3 different Pinocchio films coming out in the next 6 months.
Yeah, and you kind of and what got me thinking about it is it's kind of like you go back to, telling a different story. There's the whole kind of Robin Hood thing where you had the original TV series and you had Men in Tights, Prince of Thieves. And then the last couple. So there's kind of different ways to tell a story and different kind of levels. So I was kind of like, so I thought I'd pose a question to you guys and I'll kick off because my response was the original Metroid games on the Nintendo. and the Super Nintendo, is turn those into like a adult version of like adult manga. So like the Castlevania cartoon
Netflix
series on
one,
Netflix, or like an Akira, because that'd be kind of well suited in the fact that you can do the kind of like the ultra violent / have all the different kind of aliens. But it'd be good to do because you wouldn't have to follow the core storyline of the games, where you could actually say, well, here's a series like the Castlevania ones where you went off to different planets, as Samus went to different planets and hunted different aliens, similar to Castlevania, where the Vampire Slayer, I from Simon, the family that he went off and hunted down dead and vampires, is kind of that would kind of bring that IP, the best way to bring that IP into the modern era, or get a new audience, because I mean they're still like Metroid games. But it expands it'd be a good way to expand.
Well, just thinking about the Castlevania series, because I really got into the Castlevania series, that would really suit the Metroid.
Yeah.
Because when people talk about that style of game, they call it Metroidvania.
Yeah.
So they mashed the two series together already.
Exactly. So
yeah,
it'd be cool. Like it'd be great to kind of see.
Also, the fans would go fucking nuts for a Netflix Castlevania Metroid series.
Yeah,
I'd go fucking nuts for that.
Yeah,
you like the way that the Metroid series works. You can do those Metroid aliens as like alien face huggers. Like you can make them super graphic, and then you add in like all the other characters you meet in that series.
Yeah, it'd be cool because I was like, that'd like I would hands down eat that up. Just it'd be freaking tits, and that's why I was like, I posed the question to see what you guys kind of thought of, like because end of the day it's always interesting. You people kind of complain about remakes, remasters, and everything, but it's kind of like, well, let's see what it's always interesting to see what people want if there was to be that kind of model.
Well, Peter, are you going first? Am I going first? Peter, you can go first. Go on.
Okay. I'm pretty simple actually. I would convert pretty much any first-person dungeon crawler style game into a PSVR game. I mean, and funnily enough, it didn't really occur to me, because what I wrote in the show notes was I would take like the original Amiga Dungeon Master game or the Elder Scrolls Arena game, and I would turn that into PSVR. And then I thought, just like Skyrim, which was also an Elder Scrolls game, which it didn't really occur to me at the time that I wrote it, but how good. But just that style of game, like I think I said last episode, and I've been thinking a lot more about it because we've finally got some proper footage of the PSVR 2, some in-game footage of what they're doing. Yeah. Just every first-person game from now on also release in VR. Just do it. It'll solve all of our problems of no AAA titles. Your light's still moving, Tom, so you're not going to be able to get away with freezing your fucking facial expression.
Damn it.
Weirdo.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah, that's it.
I just thought I'd just go through that point again. I didn't need to. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Brother's got
That's what I would do. I would convert those old school.
I think you convert every game to PSVR if you could, Peter.
Well, there's a whole bunch of games that just wouldn't work. There's a whole bunch of games that wouldn't work. I mean, give me a fucking full-on race car experience with the force feedback steering wheel and the gear shifter and the 3 pedals, and then give me VR goggles. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like Gran Turismo 17 VR, I cannot wait. If they can, keep me alive that long, I cannot wait. Anyway, Tom, what would you convert?
Well, I actually thought about this in a completely different way because I think I misread
That's what
its
makes the
initial
show
thing.
interesting,
It
mate.
makes it, and I was not very. It was very vague.
No, your question was great, and it was really really good, and actually I think it really works for the two. I thought of that from two opposing views. I thought of games that really worked because I thought it just purely about like games that you remastered and deserved a remaster, and then I thought about games that remastered that worked and remastered that didn't work. That's where I was coming from.
So it can be like the either other. It's
So I thought about it from both ends of that equation. So I thought, I don't know if you guys ever played GoldenEye Reloaded on the PS3, Xbox 360.
no, but I heard
You may have heard about it. It was meant to be GoldenEye from the N64 brought back for that generation.
Yeah.
It may have actually been PS4. No, I'm pretty sure it was PS3 and Xbox 360. It felt like a combination cash grab for the original GoldenEye, then paired with a weird and badly done Call of Duty clone. So it was first-person shooter, and then it had an online multiplayer aspect to it, and it was meant to recreate the whole like, this is you and your mates playing GoldenEye on the couch on your N64 back in the day, but it lost all of the charm that was, you know, the three of us sitting in a room together, being like, "Hey man, stop looking at my screen. Stop looking at. Hey, there's your buttons. I'm gonna press your buttons. I'm gonna press your buttons." Yeah, like it was like that kind of shit that you used to get with like co-op multiplayer when you were sitting in the same room because you had to, and it was horrible. It was. I mean, it was a decent enough first-person shooter that, like, if no one had played GoldenEye as a kid, because that's the thing, you look back at GoldenEye right now, and you look back at the modern first-person shooters, like, it's not mind-blowing. But if you think about GoldenEye in when it was released, it was groundbreaking in what it did for first-person shooters. And then you think of the multiplayer, and you think of, like, modern-day multiplayer, you're like, oh, why the fuck would I play this weird, like, doesn't even turn quickly, I can't quick scope or do whatever they do in first-person shooters. But then you think about, fuck, it was me and three of my mates, we were sitting on a couch, we all had a controller, we could fucking fuck with each other if we really wanted to. It was like, yeah, it was fun. It was that more pure moment of like, it was all sitting in the same room, 4-player split screen, slappers only if you had to, or you know, just whatever. And it was just that kind of fun. You'd play for hours, you'd change up the rules, whatever. But then I thought of a really good example of a game that's gone from a classic, especially our generation, a classic game, and then been remade for a modern audience. And you fucking can't go past, and I know Dan will agree with me here, Doom 2016. Because that is taking a core concept of a game, which is keep shooting, never stop running, and just turn and blast the entire whatever with whatever. And it's taken it into a modern day first-person shooter, and it's that fast-paced first-person shooter. And I've finished it, I platinumed it, but I went back into the multiplayer the other week, and it's still alive. It's a 2016 game. It's 2022.
Yeah, and
so that multiplayer is more alive than the sequel.
It's really surprising.
Yeah. And it's just so organically done. It's that Quake engine. It's just run in, gun blazing, jump around as you're jumping, going, this is completely unrealistic, whatever. Just shooting an arc of bullets over people. It's so well done. But then, I mean, that is also an experience of a game in terms of like you have to keep moving, you have to keep shooting. The music makes it sure that you keep doing that because it's high, fast paced metal that's just like, and you just go, oh well, shit, I gotta keep going. Oh, okay, keep going. Okay, keep going. It's like that kind of thing. But it's just like, to take that from the original Doom, it still has that core concept. It's just been reinvigorated for a new generation.
Yeah, and
I think that's the best example of that done well.
Yeah, and that was the end of the that was the whole point of the question is that to show the original IP can be modernized.
But yes, it can.
Properly, but
Because it's not about the graphics. That's really all that's changed over time, right? We've refined game mechanics to an extent.
Yes and no,
and AI has gotten a lot better.
I feel a lot of control mechanisms don't translate well to a modern generation of games because your controls have become a bit more precise. When if you think about the controls you had on the N64, they were a bit rough and
a bit
tough.
loose, yeah. A bit loose and fast.
Loosey-goosey.
yeah.
Your aim's over there. Don't worry, you hit it. Did I? Did I really?
Box is the size of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's everything has obviously progressed, but there are games that have progressed in that they've evolved with a modern generation as well. It's even as like reported classics. And I think of the Star Wars games that Dan and I have talked about so much, the Aspire ports. So you got Jedi Knight 2, you got Republic Commando. They're still fantastic fucking games. But if you turned around to me tomorrow and said, "Hey Tom, I've just done these in modern graphics," I'd be like, "Here's my wallet. Take it."
Yeah.
Take it. Take all the money in my wallet. Take it. It's all yours. Like, you couldn't stop me because the core character progression and the core story would still be the same. But fuck, like, I love those games, but they needed a graphical upgrade. Like, modern day Republic Commando. Just, jeez.
Hello, boys.
Yeah, it would just be the most incredible experience ever. And Pete, I would fucking play the shit out of that in VR. If you got me a clone commando helmet that wiped blood off itself as I ran around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'd go back and play fucking Hexen in VR. So, you know, there's quite a lot that I would play. All the first-person shooters I would play in VR.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that was a very good question, Ed. That was a very good question.
I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to see what other people think and the whole
nice
kind of thought-provoking because it was I wanted it to be a little bit different than the
What did you play this week?
what's your view on remakes? But it's like, well, what's
But the
good
funny
and what's
thing
bad
is,
and
like-
how to do it and what not to do and
When you ask the question, it's like, well, from the movie and TV series side of things, that's all we're getting at the moment. So we don't really have to cover that. Like, we all three of us gravitated towards video games, really. Or at least as the source material, because everything we're seeing in Hollywood at the moment is a reboot or a remake or a fucking prequel, sequel, whatever.
Yeah,
It's actually, and it's also really funny that you asked that because I was going to lead into a question when we didn't have a spotlight at 3:00 this afternoon. Mine was going to be movie tie-in games based off the fact I just finished playing Lego Hobbit.
Yeah.
Just like, the fact that I can't play the third fucking movie and I'll never be able to play it. Like,
because that's
lame.
And again, kind of the theme of the recording with stuff like Andor is that with every IP, there's always a lot more to the backstory that unless you're well versed in that source material, the general public who will go and see a movie, who'll watch a TV series, who'll only play the game like a game once. All they're seeing is the main storyline or the main quest.
Yeah.
So that's all they see, but they miss and I said I'm not well versed in the full Star Wars universe. So there's a lot of Easter eggs that I miss, but watching something like Andor is and the Mandalorian is there's learning about that.
It's a lot more
other
accessible.
stories accessible and learning more about the universe and the whole kind of story and what makes up. You're like, okay, now I can see what people are kind of are such fans
which
about.
should be the point of those series.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, a lot of the fucking fanboys in their own fucking universe like, stop throwing that in. I fucking hate it because then someone's accessing the thing that I love, and how dare you look like the thing I love?
But on paragraph 3 of page 714 of chapter 17, he actually said this.
Yeah.
Not. He said and, not and. It's like, oh, really, dude?
Absolutely got him.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Lord of the Rings boys are doing exactly the same thing. With
Oh,
Rings.
man, they're just as bad as Star Wars fans at the moment.
Yeah,
it's fucking doing my head in. If you're one of those fucking idiots on those forums and Facebook groups, just pull your head in and slap yourself with a full can of beer. Grab a full can of beer, put it straight to your temple in a swift motion, sit down for half an hour, and then rethink your life. Jesus. Stop complaining. You're lucky to get anything at all.
The content we're getting is amazing.
Yeah,
between Andor and Rings of Power, it's
very spot. It's spot on. It's kind of like I got home, like I was busy on Wednesday, Thursday, and so I didn't catch up for Andor until today. But I got home from work yesterday, and I was like, all right, I know Rings of Power is a longer episode. I watched that first because
they're an hour and 10 minutes an episode now.
Yeah, and then I was then I looked at the time after watching it. I was like, oh, hang on, I'll save Andor for the next day because I want to be awake when I watch this.
Yeah,
so I can get it. So like usually I'll be like just binging and I've watched it away I go, but I was like, no, I want to be aware for this and. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it's movie quality TV. I fucking love it.
And that's it. It's expanding it's taking that an IP and putting it into modernizing it so it's more accessible and enjoyable for the masses. So,
I think on that note, I think we'll probably wrap this episode.
That's a perfect point to end. I think. Yeah,
I agree.
No worries.
Thank you very much for listening. As always, if you enjoy what you heard, and even if you didn't, drop us a like and follow us on all our social media, which is everywhere, and watch us on YouTube if you want to see how stupid we look while we're talking.
And my lights.
And also, if you didn't like the episode and feel like sharing that with us, please do it more constructively than leaving us an iTunes review that says 1 star, awful. That doesn't give us anything to work with. Like, why didn't you like it?
That gives me everything to work with. That inspires me more than you could ever hope for. 1 star. I will meet you on the plains of battle in the afterlife.
I can't just fix awful.
Right.
Like, was there anything specific you didn't like? You knob. Yes, your lights, Tom. Everyone's fascinated by your lights. The 1% of our listeners who actually watch us on YouTube love your lights.
I got lights.
Yeah.
I'm like Pete. I got lights.
Okay.
Best $20 I ever spent.
Thanks very much for listening, guys. Good night.
And thank you, Ed, for joining us.
Yeah,
that has to be said again. Thank you very much.
Absolutely privileged. Yeah, it's
You're drunk.
Go home, Ed. You're drunk. Hang on, I am home.
No, stay on, Ed. You're drunk.
Right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next episode. Bye.
Peace out, bitches.